the flat return and a 3-0 over G1. Ice cold there from the Optic boys. Somehow picking off Squall A before he grabs it over. At the Halo World Championship, they're just looking like the top tier team that they've built out to be. And I gotta say, their merch is so hot this event as well. We got the throwback jerseys, Optic doing it big. The supersonic style jerseys, I gotta pick myself up one of those. I lived in Seattle for a few years, got a bit of appreciation for the culture out here. Dave, I gotta say, it has been such a blast standing next to you once again, my friend. Coming straight off a Madden National Championship into the Halo World Championship. You can't ask for a better week of esports. It is a beautiful time for esports, especially as a Halo fan at the Halo World Championship. The biggest and best event of the year. I got all kinds of noise in my microphones right now. In our headphones, people are cheering. The green wall, making all kinds of noise here in the venue. And I have to wonder, if you got a fan group that's bringing this much energy, who can match that energy? Who else is going to be able to hang with the squad with this much support? I mean, having the crowd on your side really is that X factor. I mean, I was always fortunate enough to have a huge crowd following behind myself, the Fall Boss rosters, all the years.
I got both streams up. Plus, I'm going to play some
Vanguard,
but I'm
cheer for
turning
you
the
anytime
Vanguard
you make a sick
audio
play.
off,
You just know that it's demoralizing the opposing team. That home field advantage is a real thing, and it's nice when you get home field advantage at every city event. They were there in Orlando, they're here in Seattle, and right now on the main stage, we got Blaze with a man I sub to, Mr. Trippy.
Thank you so much, Washi and Puckett. Give it up for Optic Gaming as they kick off the championship bracket. What a dub. Trippy, you were crying. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Not gonna lie, I had an acai bowl.
Okay.
That's like my go-to for tournaments.
Eating clean for these tournaments.
It's got the energy, it's got the fruit, it's got the granola. It's just everything you need. It's
everything
perfect.
you need. Well, you guys had everything you need for the series, and it was a clean one. Now, we know you guys played G1 in the finals of that NA Super. You guys came out on top, but G1 has been hot most of this tournament. We're kicking this one off first match of the day. What was the game plan coming into this one?
Just take it slow. We know how they play. They're a very coordinated team, just like we are. So we just gotta find numbers, find what they're doing, and then kind of coordinate off that, and that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, everybody was definitely coordinated, okay? The stats showed it, and you guys come out on top, but as we know, your next matchup is a big one. You're going up against Sentinels. How you feeling on that one? You excited?
Honestly, yeah, with how things happened last time we played them, I'm honestly excited for a rematch, and especially at Worlds, so it's going to be a great one. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
As Lottie loves to say, it's going to be a banger out there, folks. Any last words you want to give to the crowd?
Shout out to the green wall, of course. We got the girlfriends again. We got my mom and dad are here again. And yeah, it's awesome.
It is an awesome day. It's Championship Sunday, everybody. One more time, give it up for Optic Gaming. Lottie, take it away.
Thank you so much, Blaze. I'll tell you what, I talked before coming into the series about weaknesses we're seeing from top teams on day one. I didn't see a weakness at all from Optic Gaming on that main stage, and going up against G1, an opponent arguably much better than their pool play opponents, says something about this team and how they can grow across a weekend, and that is absolutely terrifying to anybody else going up against them. Clutch, Optic, they get their hands on everything always, don't they? They always have the sandbox, they're always there on the power-ups, their timing is amazing, a lot of it comes down to communication, but my goodness me, they play a simple game, but damn do they play it effectively.
The most dominant team right now in Halo, right? They're consistently playing at such a high level, and doesn't matter who their competition is, this kind of gameplay is what you can expect to see when these guys are on that stage. It's absolutely a highlight reel when you get an opportunity to watch Lucid, Formal, but it really is the step up of APG and Trippy that give this team that championship caliber power.
Yeah, they seriously are the real deal. If you didn't believe it before, Orlando definitely was the full stop at the end of it, and the question now is whether or not they can go all the way here at Worlds. They have built so much in this roster, and so much confidence, I feel like, has grown on this team, Goofy.
Shit.
What is left right now for them to work on? Is there anything at all? Do they just have to keep playing this game?
Keep playing the game that you're playing. If you're Optic Gaming, they have been rolling on all cylinders.
Let's go.
And we saw it in Orlando,
baby.
and we're seeing it here in Seattle, the
Vanguard
Halo
too.
World Championship. Looking at the stats,
I'm gonna play some new
Formal
Call of
is
Duty
the man I was going to
campaign
call
for
out, regardless of what the scoreboard said, because he was playing some fantastic Halo in that series, Lottie. And honestly, G1 was outmatched and outclassed.
Yeah, they certainly were indeed. I think when it comes to G1, Tony, a couple of things that I noticed, especially in the first map, Recharge Oddball, there were small moments and mistakes that really could have been so pivotal for this team. Small things like using the camo effectively, throwing the ball, having the teammates there to support, rotate the ball to safety. Small things like that actually played into the hands of Optic rather than G1. What do you think the problems are for G1 right now?
I mean, like I said before, it's a really tough matchup for G1. Yeah, but you can't hang your heads low. I mean, you lost to Optic Gaming. Boo-hoo. So will every other team in this tournament, most likely. There's really nothing I really hang your head low about that. I got the chance to actually talk to Kenny, owner of G1, while the actual series was going on. He talked about Optic Gaming and them just doing the small things correctly. It's not just them being so individually talented. It's not them also just being so much better when it comes to teamwork, but their attention to detail that really set them over the edge, and it's really coming out in this World Championship.
It certainly is indeed. I've got to say commiserations to G1 there. I feel like it would have been better to see them coming out of the gates really hot and wanting this, to have it a bit closer there, and I'm sure they certainly would have wanted a different outcome to the end of that first series.
Go,
but
guys.
GG's to both of our teams on the main stage, but congratulations to Optic, who will move forward to the winners bracket. And speaking of, we need to look at the winners bracket to see exactly where the scores are at, because they're going to go on and play one of their fierce competitors, and we're all up for this rematch, aren't we, gents? Sentinels versus Optic is going to be a banger, as Blaze did mention. I like to say semi-finals in the lineup for all of us later on this evening.
Right.
And Clutch, when it comes down to a rematch like this, a lot on the line, because obviously moving forward in Worlds is huge. There's a lot of pride and the kind of passion personally on the line for both of these teams in this one.
Yeah, look at it through Optics as wins most of the time. And I say the one thing people tried to discredit this team from their
Sentinels
Orlando's run was you didn't have to play Sentinels in order to win the whole thing. And what does that mean? I heard that all the time when I was on BTH. You guys didn't have to play triggers down. Well, that's not my damn fault, right? Optic plays who's in front of them now have to get over the hump that is Sentinels in their past. But they've looked so good over Orlando, over so far the early weekend we have here, and I like their chances here to put that storyline to rest. I'm looking at Optic Gaming to finally get that last monkey off their back.
Yeah, and this could be the series of the weekend. Optic Gaming versus Sentinels, like Royal 2, Steak Bite, Frosty going up against Lucid, Formal, Trip. The amount of talent that we're seeing on Optic and Sentinels, that series could be the series of the weekend.
Winner of this series more than likely wins the event. The momentum you get from taking down Optic with how hot they are from Sentinel's side, massive. Optic Gaming,
Trippy, what's up?
I mean, we know how clean they look. If they can get that
guys?
Sentinels team out of their way, they are headed to a grand finals.
Some bold statements, some bold teams, and teams looking to keep their tournament alive here in the elimination bracket. We have our round ones just about filled in. The lower bracket will be filled in very shortly, but G1 versus Fnatic, G2 Esports versus Oxygen Esports, and when we get the rest of our winners quarterfinals settled and done, we'll have the two meeting Jailings and Ascend as well. But G1 Fnatic, Tony, that's going to be electric. I think Fnatic are going to be looking at what just happened on the main stage and seeing an opportunity to capitalize on some mistakes there.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a team that not too long ago was fighting through open
bracket,
like really having to go through the gauntlet and couple of roster moves.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
Preston Arctic coming, I keep talking about it. Fnatic looks so much different than they did before. They're ready to take that next step. Honestly, in the past, if I saw G1 versus Fnatic, I would have said, sweet. I would have said, we're done with. Let's move on to the next one. This Fnatic, I don't know. They might be able to contend.
Yeah, they certainly can. I think, honestly, right now, everyone who is here still present day 2 is a contender. No matter where you're at in the bracket, I think if you put the work in, if you are clicking as a team, and you are able to push through a lot of different hurdles, then the race is on. We'll have to wait and see who comes out on top. Well, folks, if you have been tuning in to everything we've got going on this weekend, and there is a lot, there's many streams and there's many things happening in this arena. And just to remind you that at 3 p.m. today, there's going to be a cosplay contest. We've got $5,000 for the winner of this cosplay contest.
Hold up.
Happening on the community stage.
I'll be right back.
Hold on. Big question. Who are you going to be dressed up as?
I think I got a spec
Master
spawn.
Chief, right?
Lucas wears BTA's jersey.
Yeah, I'll be the greatest player of all
I'm going
time.
chicken coop.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, if you do want to actually go and see that one going
One's
down
on
and you are
chicken
at
coop
home, head
in
over
the
to
corner.
twitch.tv/Xbox to catch that cosplay contest. And $5,000 is a lot. So that will be a really, really cool one
Got
to have a
chicken
look at.
coop.
Well, folks, we're going to head to a break right now. But my goodness, first match of the day. Optics starting day 2 as they finish day 1, winning. G1 struggled to find their feet against the green wall, but despite falling, they still have another chance at lifting the trophy. Coming up next, though, FaZe versus E United, right after this.
Ah! My auto aim went to our guy.
I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really
We got
a
this.
part of me.
They're spawning back.
Under my skin.
Now they're spawning like barn.
Trolley.
Oh, we got barn spawns. Let's go.
Wipe my face off, trolley, trolley, trolley. Crush us with their teeth. Trolley, trolley, trolley. Eat us, feast us. Trolley.
At Lovesac, we design furniture for life. Real life. Messy life. Life that changes and brings us together for movie night. A life where batteries run down and get charged up again. Because now, Lovesac Sactionals can be upgraded with stealth tech and immersive surround sound by Harman
should've got
Kardon
back
hidden
spawn,
inside. Upgradable, washable, and
Never mind, they're
guaranteed
back
for
spawn,
life.
back spawn.
Don't just hear it, feel it at a Lovesac showroom near
Chicken
you.
coop. Rotating. Got guy by shed. They're not back spawning. How didn't I hit them? Oh shit. Good call. One's back barn, one's barn. I just hit it up top. Fuck, dude, somebody got me when I was trying to get back spawn. One shot, one top barn.
Searching for meaning in a relentless world. Always connected, but somehow alone, trapped by illusion. We offer another path, where the battle to belong begins. Awakened by a calling, united by the cause you fight for. No one can take away what it means to be among the few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back to the 2022 Halo World Championship. We are live from Seattle, Washington, and in the convention center, it is all going down. We have so much to entertain live in person, but for you folks at home, we have much, much more because we have all of the main stage action coming your way. We have the B stream as well, and it's the championship bracket day. My goodness me. First of all, Gaskin, I don't know if you got the memo, but it's a lilac day today.
It's winning. That's what the cool kids say.
I'm the only one on the fucking point.
Lilac day is my
We didn't
favorite
get the memo.
day. My favorite day. I mean, you're kind of there.
I know, you're mixing it as well, Tony. If you mix those two colors together, you get this one. And Walshy, you're just Walshy, and I just respect it. So
Girls have been telling me that my whole life. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Dude, shut the fuck up. You're trash.
it's okay. One of them chose you, so it's all good. Don't worry about it. I tell you what, though, folks, you have an amazing desk here to talk about all of the amazing things that are going to be happening very shortly as well. But we do have some exciting things happening in the room around us as well, gents. We're actually celebrating Halo all weekend long. And what a better way to show your love and support than the merch booth for HCS. We have some official HCS merch. And it's glorious. I actually have some at home in my wardrobe. I need to pick up some new stuff as well. You guys do too if you are in the arena. We actually caught up with Blaze to have a little look and see what is up for grabs over there. So Blaze, over to you.
What's up, everybody? I am once again adventuring through HCS Seattle, and I had to stop by the official HCS booth because you know why? They partnered up with E-United for something special, a collab. It is Grunt's Best Day. Look at the E-United merch out here. How adorable is that one right there? But also fresh at the same time. They definitely partnered up. Come through if you're in a venue, check this out. But guess what? There's more. If you come around, we got some cool also collabs that came through exclusively for the World Championship. So make sure you come through, you see something you like, show some love to the booth, but more importantly, if you're in the venue, have some fun, all right? That's gonna do it for me. I'm about to go hit another adventure.
I gotta say, that stuff is drippy, to say the least. It is nice stuff. And I'm just gonna put it out there right now. First and foremost, if you can hear me in the booth, please save me a medium, okay, and everything. Because I think that's gonna be selling out very shortly after showing that. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. What did you make of some of the team merch?
Do they do it in lilac? Because that's what. No, honestly, it looks. I love all the collab stuff. All the collab stuff's amazing from all of the orgs. It's so great. You can walk around all these booths and just kind of get all this kind of sexy drip. It's amazing.
I've never heard
38 years old. Can I say drip?
Just as many
I'm
pills.
not allowed to.
You can.
You can now.
I can.
You suddenly get.
You, Tony.
You're
You're
drippy,
fucking
Walshy. Don't get it twisted. You're drippy, man. Don't worry about that. But no one's as drippy as this man right here, Tony. Okay.
I'm not even
Let's
getting carried.
just get that straight. I'll tell you what, though, I'm going to straighten things up for you guys at home. If you're wondering what is coming your way today, we do have some epic matches already kicking your day off. We had Optic. They beat G1 3-0, clean sweep across the board on the main stage. And now we have FaZe versus E-United, our second winners quarterfinals happening on the main stage as well. That's going to be huge. And then 3 p.m. we now finally have our elimination round 1 set in stone. G1 versus Fnatic. Explain how big this is going to be for
I might as well just play off the points since I'm getting carried so bad.
Exit out on Fnatic. Can they keep going? Can they keep doing this? This is a huge play-in bracket team coming in, trying to upset things as well.
I'm getting carried so hard.
Excuse me. FaZe versus
Let's go, Outlaw.
quarterfinals. Big one on this main stage, right? you're in the winners bracket side of things, you're in the quarterfinals, you need to keep going. That momentum is
Oh my
huge,
God, I can't
especially
do
with the World
anything.
Championships looming over
Oh
your
my
shoulders.
gosh.
This is everything. This leg up for them, Gaskin, is what's going to make the difference. Now, with the United, we talked yesterday about them needing to adapt a bit better. When their game plan doesn't work out or
Damn,
it
I
gets
got
figured out by
carried.
another team, their
got
adaptation is not
carried.
very good, and they kind of stick to the plan and it falls
I got
apart. What did you
carried.
make of them adapting and that kind of new intensity that
I got
United are finding from
carried.
yesterday?
Well, I think you can always
I got
trust in Ryan to
carried.
bring something
I
new
got
to the table.
carried.
Yes, he has his style of play. Yes,
I
they
got
have their plan, and
carried.
sometimes there isn't a plan B on every map. But I do think that this United roster, now you've added Snipe Down, now you've started to really trust
I got
one another.
carried.
These calls can
I
be
got
made on the fly.
carried.
We are starting to see new innovative ways to try and approach these maps from
I got
United. The only
carried.
problem is on the other side of the stage,
I got
you've got
carried.
Spartan. He knows
I got
Ryan Noob's playbook,
carried.
and that's going to mean that United
I
need to
got
come up with something
carried.
new here. They need to try and do something outside of that playbook.
Tony, from yesterday, United
I got
obviously had some
carried.
close calls, some close games, but big performances too. Anybody standing out to you on that roster?
When it comes to this roster, I'm looking at Snipe Down. I mean, you're talking about Snipe Down, formerly of that FaZe roster, now coming over to EU United on loan, and he had some choice words for the rest of the FaZe roster. I'm looking forward to that rivalry, and also, come on, man, Ryan Noob versus Spartan, former enemies, then friends, now enemies again on the
joined him
virtual
last night,
battlefield.
so
Give me that
I'm streaming
matchup
for
all
once.
day long.
Walshy, Ryan was picking up the pace yesterday. Not only was he statting a little bit, but the objective work, I think the leadership as well. This guy has to do everything to make this team work. What do you make of him as a player and how he performed yesterday?
Yeah, he's always been that well-rounded player. It's never been a question of, can he do objective right? Can he do these things? He does everything so good that's tough just to highlight one spot. And so we're just like, oh, he's the mastermind. Let's just call him that because he does everything great.
Yeah, this is very, very true. Well, I'll tell you what, the best way to figure out a player like Ryan Noob is to ask him directly himself, which is what we did heading into the weekend. Let's find out how he's feeling about it.
Ryan Noob Giddis, play for E United. I feel a little bit bad because I know this is a world championship to some players and to some fans of the community, but to me it's another tournament. And so I'm always at my strongest. I'm always trying to be at my strongest, and there's no difference coming into this tournament than a previous one.
Realizing he does this to the back. And oh my God!
Return it to the sender! He's the mailman!
Without giving too much away, we've been working on space and what space means and how to control it and how not to lose control of our space. And so going into this event, I really elaborated on that and said, this is what we want to do when this happens. And with that now, I think we're looking really strong coming into this tourney. I think that the way that we play the game has really changed the idea of who I am. So I went from being known as a person who doesn't slay that one to my whole team can do what I do.
And that could be it! That could be the game! One way Snipe Down with that triple kill!
We actually have a chance to win, and we
Guys,
are
go
a
follow
threat.
Double Kill Queen if you're watching my Halo stream.
There you have
I'm
it,
streaming
Ryan
Halo
Noob
right
himself
now. I'm
talking
playing
about
some
you know
Halo.
what it means really to be here and what they have to do and the work they have to put in. I feel like
No,
Ryan
it's
Noob's
just
the
Halo
player
Worlds,
that
so
has
I'm just
so
doing
much
a reaction
experience on
to
the side
Worlds,
that he's
so
been
I
there,
could
done
stream
that,
that plus
got the
live.
t-shirt, but I think the jumper is now what he needs to get right. It's the hoodie, it's the bigger, the better, and that's a World Championship trophy, and he has everything in his court right now to play with, right? This quarterfinals is massive. The leg up going into and continuing in the winners bracket means a lot to this team, and do you think that they are capable right now on the main stage of doing that?
I think so. I think that I agree with Ryan Noob. They are good enough. They proved that with their victory against Cloud9 in Orlando. But now you have to get the job done here. If you genuinely want to be considered championship contenders, you have to beat FaZe in this series. You can't afford to go down to the elimination bracket and get knocked down at your first opportunity. Put your best foot forward, right? Get into those winners bracket semis. Otherwise, I think teams will be saying, well, E United, they're okay, but they couldn't even beat FaZe.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a huge understanding of where both teams are at. And the big question is, where are FaZe at? They're on the main stage right now, but gameplay-wise, are they able to take down E United? Now, FaZe, we know they can bleed Tony. We've seen it happen yesterday. They dropped one map on Streets, King of the Hill to TSS, and they dropped a CTF Bazaar to Fnatic. Still secured the win on both series, though. But can we read anything into that? They are both objective games, not slayers. So big fundamentals dropping, kind of going into those, and it's a little bit difficult to get out of that one. Not a lot of wiggle room.
Well, I mean, their ultra-aggressive playstyle really plays well to most of the objective game types that we have in Halo Infinite, and I also think it's going to happen in Slayer as well, but it matters about the map for me. So going into a live fire or a street where they're able to constantly put pressure, those are the kind of Slayers that they want to see. On the flip end, even though they might be really good with that shock rifle, recharge, that stalematey type of map, that's what United want to see on the Slayer point. So for me, it's not about really the game type of Slayer, it's more about what map is going to pop up in our series.
Indeed, and I'll tell you what, the guy we have our eyes on right now, Renegade, he's our AMD-powered performance. And my goodness me, rightfully so, because he is just insane when he gets on the sticks. And what he can do for a team is everything, and it can be the difference between winning and losing. And Walshy, when it comes down to Renegade, this superstar potential, you know, what do you see in it? What is it about Renegade that does push that superstar narrative towards his format?
I mean, he's just so unstoppable in 1v1, just overall play style. One thing we kind of overlook as we talk through all these players, like, oh, how good is their shot? Because everyone here at the Halo World Championship has a good shot, but who has that slightly better percentage of a shot? Renegade just simply doesn't miss. He won the last Halo Worlds in 2018. This guy is an absolute superstar.
He certainly is indeed. Well, we have two superstars also on the mics leading the way in this cast for our winners quarterfinals. FaZe versus United happening right now. And the wonderful dulcet tones of Onset and Bravo will be with you for this one. Gents, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Lion. What a game this is. I am so excited to be a part of this series because it is a massive, massive series, not just between these two teams, but for the tournament as a whole. This is a go-ahead series for either FaZe or United. Whoever wins this series, Andy, we start to talk about as maybe a contender for that first place spot.
That's right, just what they were saying on the desk. This is where it really begins. This is where we get to the thick of the bracket here. This is your winners quarterfinals against FaZe Clan and United, and to be honest, we've got a little rivalries at play here as well. So take a look at the series layout. Of course, Snipe Down going up against his old roster in FaZe. A little bit of a beef there as he departed that roster, but also, of course, Ryan Noob versus Spartan. The rivalry is back, and it looks like meat is back on the menu.
Me and Queen go way back.
Indeed, what? I mean, the emotions that every single player, all the teams, all the fans, us are going to go through in this series is going to be something special for sure. You're going to see pop-offs, you're going to see a little bit of trash talk across the stage, and you're also going to see a little bit of recharge to start off here, Andy. It's FaZe versus United. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect to see in our first map.
I think it's important to talk about how these teams looked in pools, right? FaZe 3-0 in pools. They're 9-2 overall. It was a very different story for United there in day number 1, ending it in 2-1 in pools, 7-6 in games as we get ready to head right into game number 1. It's going to be recharge oddball.
Well, Seattle, it's time to make a little bit of noise for these guys because this series is pivotal for both of their performances throughout this weekend. Get through this one, stay in the upper bracket, and send one of your fiercest rivals down to the lower side. Renegade from FaZe, highlighted on the desk. This man, quite simply, is special.
He certainly is. We'll see if he can bring World Championship form back into play here and see how that really is the question. So much pressure on Renegade, as you heard him talking about. Spartan going to be the first one to grab the camel. Let's also not forget what we saw from United yesterday in their main stage performance, actually losing this game type to Navi 0-2, and a dominant one. Spartan picks up another one in the back, and it'll be 2 dead for both sides yet again.
First camo in the game, first pickup, as you see, goes to Spartan. So that's a good opening strategy here from FaZe. Unfortunately, Spartan's going to be left on his own as United do manage to take down the 3 other members of FaZe. So Spartan just playing this one slow, playing this one sneaky, taking a little look at those pipes and hoping he can catch Rhino off guard, return it to the sender. We saw the clip that was Rhino POV, but this time he's on the end of it.
Yeah, Spartan versus Rhino rivalry already heating up. That's the second time we saw Spartan go for that stick repulse. The second one does hit. It's a nice play. 2 dead for United. It will lead to the first points on the board for FaZe Clan.
Off the back of that play, like you say, immediately FaZe Clan turn their density towards that objective. They get a few points on the board. They get that ball back towards pipes. And when you've got Renegade with a shock rifle in his hands, you don't have to worry about these red stairs too much.
My God, he looks like Bonfire in Halo 2. Just waits for a player to strafe 3 times and then just brains them. 2 dead here. Ryan will grab the scraps, trying to rotate ball. Glass gets punished. Won't be able to get away. We'll see off the back of that what Falcade is able to do.
Falcade, one of those players, we talk about rivalry, we talk about getting fired up. I think it'll take a lot to actually get any kind of emotion out of Falcade a lot of the time. He's just so stone cold when it comes to his gameplay, his reactions. He's always on that level kind of playing field. And in a series like this, that can be vital to FaZe.
Absolutely. One thing I love about Ryan Noob too is I think he's really just taking. Oh my yikes, Renegade! Dropping bodies real quick with that weapon. He's also going to put some extra points on the board. He'll be taken down though right away from a nice angle from Suspector, who will fly into pipes.
Suspector now going to have a little play with this shock rifle, see if he can match some of the shots that we've seen already from multiple players, mostly from the hands of the POV of Renegade. That ball just currently being scrapped for. You can see the Suspector knows there's someone around. He has the repulse, but doesn't have the angle, doesn't have the distance close to make that repulsor be effective. Rain now is going to get a touch, but look at these nades just raining in. It's 3 dead for E United. FaZe come out on top of the push, and now King Nick has that ball in his hands.
Wow, some really interesting non-traditional baiting there, right? You saw actually as they try to fly in, Rain tries to get away with the shock, and in the end, the ball gets baited in pipes for a while, and FaZe really slow played that. That will lead to now a substantial lead as they're up 35-3.
I feel like Renegade is just waiting to count down for a couple of headshots. Instead, it's going to be a melee. Good damage, but not the kill. So Rhino manages to break through, as does the rest of E United. Falcade, last player alive. FaZe Clan find themselves this time in the death screen. They got 3 dead from E United a moment ago. They turned it into a lead of almost 40 seconds, but that is being chipped away at by E United as they now have control of the pipes.
Yeah, we heard a little bit in that interview. Ryan really taking to that leadership role and working on what strategies he can pull out. He will trade in the end there, 1-for-1 at the back of the pipes. That will pave the way for Nick to come through and grab more ball time as well, now 42-13.
It just seemed like Ryan didn't really have the protection for the rest of his team there. He was kind of balancing between holding that oddball, between trying to fight, and ended up pretty much doing neither. He managed to get the trade, but he and I not really on the same page when it came to that hold.
As we said, really non-traditional stuff here, right? A lot slower pace than your standard games. I think that comes down to really the play styles. Grenade will not connect at the end of pipes, 3 dead for FaZe. Kind of comes down to the play styles of both of these teams. Whenever you throw E United into a mix, there's a chance for the pace of the game to play a bit differently.
Also a chance now for FaZe to pick up some kills. Rhino's going to try and get the stick, not going to happen. Renegade still has some camo to work with, so the break from FaZe is very, very possible here as you see an attempted rotation towards the elevator and towards the spawners from E United. However, Suspector has no idea. The Renegade is in close vicinity, 2 dead. Rhino's just come off spawn as well, so Rain kind of left on his own. Spartan will take care of him, and FaZe now 60 points on the board and rising with 2 minutes left in this round.
Renegade and Spartan, not only do they clear out Whirlpool and Elevator perfectly, they also do damage onto Ryan Noob to force those long haul spawns. Look at Spartan's stacks right now. He's 13-6 in this game, absolutely popping off.
Maybe he's going to add to that collection as well of kills. A couple more heads to be popped by Spartan with his shock rifle. Rain going to challenge, taking down the no shield. There's the help. Strong push coming in from E United, but the trade comes in from Falcade, doing his job so well. And Renegade now adds to his collection, and there is a little love tap to the back of the skull.
Oh boy, and that is a very specific tap there if you were watching the kill feed. And a little bit of, we said there was going to be a rivalry, and there's already a little bit of heat in game number 1.
Sometimes I feel like Renegade needs it to get himself going in these kind of games.
I was trying to cover
that kind of momentum on each side. There's a little tickle. It's not going to be the kill, but there is the stick. As Renegade does damage, but through all of this, you can see that FaZe Clan find themselves 3 dead. So E United now with a rotation towards back blue. They have the play ball opportunity. It's always an interesting decision now for FaZe. They obviously have to get the ball out of the hands of E United, but you can't give up the pipes control either because you know that respawn's going to be coming in without ball play.
Absolutely, a good amount of points on the board here. They need to be careful. Here comes the push from FaZe Clan, 2 dead. Sniped out, likely going to look for a play ball here.
Manages to get the play ball, full commitment coming in from FaZe. 2 players still in the death screen from E United. Nick is in a great position, thinking ahead of what the next situation is going to be. He makes his way to pipes to challenge the spawners of E United. That means that he can get eyes on that oddball as Renegade opens up the map once more with another camo here for FaZe.
Nick peeked pipes right there. He just didn't see him, so he gets forced down into battery. So Renegade now with the camo, everything to play for. They have the man advantage.
Okay, it comes in to take care of snipe down as well. That ball being rotated back towards Longhorn. Now Renegade just has those crosses. Look at Rain. Rain manages to sneak through, and Renegade recognizes this. He hears the call out. He knows this is the priority kill, but elsewhere on the map, kills picked up by E United. So now you can see the move away, as you say, towards the back of blue, a playable opportunity now for FaZe.
Yeah, perfect rotate there. Exactly what they needed to do. Sniped out was trying to go hero effort in there. He will pick up a kill and force the play ball, so not bad from E United from a lack of control to push through and force that play ball. 2 dead for FaZe off the bat of it as well.
Only 7 points needed here for FaZe to close this out. Time to play with, but under a minute left. So
Well,
United know that this is a really important push for them. They've already lost one. They need to take down some members of FaZe. It's not looking good for them at the moment. 2 in front of Suspector. He manages to turn 1, but 2 other players from E United fall. FaZe taking complete control of the map.
They are here as the time will continue to tick up. Nick will actually go down on battery, so there'll be one more round of slays before they end it, but they're only 4 points away from closing out the round.
Spartan's just trying to hunt down the final player alive. That's going to be sniped down. He has the repulsor, but he's also got another FaZe member behind him. But while all of this is going down, somehow E United have managed to scrape that ball back to Pipes. Here comes the pressure though from FaZe, but Nick's left on his own now. Nick has to go huge, and Nick does go huge. He gets the final kills. He gets the final points. And FaZe are by 1.
Wow, takes the first round, has to win the 1v1, as you say, against Ryan Newman. The Pipe steps up and does just that, leaving nothing to chance. FaZe will take the first round, and right now looking like they are pretty good. Firing on all cylinders, picking up really where they left off yesterday.
And that's the intangibles, right? We always look at stats, you always look at the things that you can see in front of you, the numerical data. But sometimes it's just a big play in the end of the game. From the likes of Nick, getting that final kill, winning that 1v1. That can win you games and win those rounds. Ryan Noob gonna get the camo this time for E United. It was pretty much controlled in the entirety in the previous round by FaZe, so a little bit more eyes, a little bit more ears towards those power-ups from E United. It's certainly gonna help.
You think about what a world championship would mean to every player on the main stage right now. Oh, boy, a little back whack does come in there in the end from Falcated against the camoed Ryan Noob. That's a stand-up play. Spartan's still 17 and 11, not messing around here, but so much on the line. And you can really tell by the way these teams are playing, they know exactly what they're playing for here. $1 million prize pool.
Oh my goodness.
And the first world championship title in Halo Infinite.
I mean, Ryan Noob there just hits the G-slide, tries to get across as quickly as he can, and Falcated just breaks him anyway. Make sure that cross is held down entirely. Right now going to be challenging. Falcated doing so much damage. And now it's going to be challenged on the bottom of the elevator. Finally, he's taken down. E United make the push, but they've had to commit 2 players to it, which means that FaZe can grab that ball and rotate away.
This really has been textbook here from FaZe, and the numbers just keep going up in the kills category, clearly outslaying at this point in the game as well. Renegade trying to get some damage here at Pipes. Will eventually be taken out, though. 2 dead for both sides.
E United do manage to get the break and finally get set up. We're actually going to move over to the POV of FaZe, because we've got an Astro Gaming listening ready for you at home. Let's see what FaZe have got to say.
Sniper. Nice, Mike. Long Suspector weak. Glass or something. In long, weak, one shot. One shot glass, Suspector. Weak and long, yeah. Nice, Mike. Dead. Spawning A. I'm playing for camo. Yeah, I'm playing for... You guys Okay. No, they might switch on. Heaven snipe. No, we need to push this. He pushes it. Switch on. Help Nick get camo. Heaven right. C-Ply going for camo. 2 C-Ply going for camo. One guy's on store. Heaven, guys. He's a solo guy.
You ready to butter BR?
Yeah, on me, glass. I got a melee. He's one, that's my bad. He's on the Mando, just sitting on the Mando with ball. He's one try. Okay, we can probably get timing. Nice, I think. Camo's here, right? Bottom A on me. Glass, I think. Camo's on me, I think. No, he's not. Glass to red. Glass to top red. Camo's weak village. Bottom A on me. Yeah, he's on truck spawn. Yeah, truck. Alright, reset. His camo should run out soon. Yeah, he's out. He has new shock though. Sniping half wall, I think. We hear that. I spawned glass. Hey there, I'm looking at ball.
I wasn't really... I kept on getting stuck on the bomb.
They're gonna rotate the ball C.
It's top here.
Nice shit, John. Good shit.
I did hella damage.
Got one.
I'm just living. Ball stuck there. Yeah, ball sick.
As we jump back into the game, E United go into a slender lead, but one takeaway for me from that FaZe listening, the intensity is there for FaZe.
You can tell it's also really controlled as well, right? They're really leaning forward, they're really into this. However, still controlled, under controlled communications, which is what you need to hear if a team is going to be bound for that World Championship Sunday. Without a doubt, more nice shots from Renegade as well. Rain's the last player alive. That was 3 down for E United, but even just listen to the composure, right? Hey, we're 4 dead, let's reset. Even though they were 5 dead, starts as the first death, they still get the break as the ball was rotating C. Spartan's not done yet. Look at this guy, 22 and 16.
Spartan. Comfortable shot for a player of his caliber on the player not looking. Manages to still make sure it's connecting in the way he would have wanted to. Shot in the hands of him now. He needs to make something happen, but E United collapse so quickly. And every kill at this point in the round is so vital. E United scrapping and scraping to keep that lead. Last player alive is going to be taken down though. And FaZe with the team fight, but Snipe Down stops that rotation. Now you can see the FaZe are not thinking about about a ball, it's all about those kills.
And Sniped stops it from the stacks. That's a great angle he takes. He had to fly out of repulsor tunnel to get that angle for a player going batteries into Whirlpool. It's a nice stop and keeps things within reach here. Of course, United, it's a very different round for them. They're now up 46-21. Keep in mind, in round number 1, they trailed the entirety of the round.
Okay, let's just get this bomb down
FaZe
fast.
currently outplaying United by quite some amount. Again, big damage down, which allows Renegade to move in to clean that up. That's 2 comfortable kills for him, and he grabs himself with a little bit of fishing line.
Let's go B side, B side.
A little fishy called a shock rifle. Now he's got the oddball. He's grabbing everything from distance.
You can see just why the grapple's so important, so prioritized on this map. Able to stay there on the bat ledge, snag the shock, snag the ball as well, add more time, and then rotate back to continue holding down pipes.
He's behind
doing
us.
it all right now, anchoring the team.
A lot of responsibility on this shock rifle play now, though. He's got 2 players on the pizza. He's not going to connect. A little bit of chain reactions. Damage. Is Ryan going to survive? Should be taken out, but there's the grapple again. Ryan manages to somehow get through that bat ledge tunnel, escape onto the batteries, and now he's causing Nick all sorts of problems.
Ryan Noob escapes in the most Ryan Noob way possible. Almost gets a trade in the end as well. Ball finally down. Nick essentially goes for that play ball, but it's actually going to stay down here on back left bat.
Rain currently sat at 16 and 25, not the strongest of games statistically from Timothy Tinkler. However, that can all change in just a matter of moments with one line. Moment is getting pressure from Longball. Trying to chase down that kill. King Nick gonna be there. Great grenade from Nick though to take his shields down. Now the priority changes from getting the kill to staying alive. Great push coming in from FaZe. Double kill for Spartan opens up the map completely.
You gotta say it's a worrying trend line, right? Look at the score now, 46-35, and now the game is within 10 as FaZe will rotate here to back C. It felt like United was up by 30 points for the entirety of this game, and that is now only a 7-point lead. Make it 6. Ball will be played as well. 46 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, great play from Rain to force that play ball as well. 2 of his teammates from E United actually fallen in that push. Camo, the next point of interest. Nick wins a big battle down bottom middle, and not only that, manages to throw the Camo back towards his team.
Spartan's gonna grab it. Spartan immediately pops and stays alive based on the feed. That is gonna be huge. Gets away with the camo. 3 dead for United. This should be a clean grab and more time on the board. They're going to be able to grab an additional time and then drop and slay if they want.
So much information being collected here by Spartan as well, but he doesn't know there's another player here. Rain takes down the camo to just 1 kill. For the power-up player, Falcator there to do the damage required to clean out this area around top gold. FaZe going to a lead by just 1 point, and with only 8 seconds left, this is the last chance for E United to try and turn that over.
Minor man advantage here, 4 seconds on the clock. Can E United jump on the ball? They're flying in here. Ryan Noob grabs, but the rest are slaying. Rain tries to get away, but game is tied here. Overtime is forced. It's a clutch play from E United. However, 4 dead. FaZe may still run away with the game yet.
Absolutely ridiculous Hail Mary play coming in from E United. They keep this game alive. They keep this round alive, but FaZe end up with the ball in their hands. They've got that ball at back blue as well, which means the play ball opportunity is there, but here comes Snipe down. He wants something to say about this game.
2 dead, 3 dead here. That ball's gonna be played here. E United with a Hail Mary play. They buy the time, but Spartan with a big win there from batteries into Whirlpool maintains control for FaZe here in terms of mid-map.
Somehow gets his shields back as well. Massive 1v1, but there's Suspector. Maybe he's the player to watch here. Has the opportunity maybe to get these kills and force FaZe into yet more pressurized situations, but there's Nick again, not for the first time with a clutch 1v1 win. 69 and 47, 30 seconds now for FaZe to hold on. It's 2v2 on the map.
FaZe and Ryan, excuse me, Snipetown and Ryan Noob versus Falcator and Spartan. Let's see how this plays out. 20 seconds left. E United needs to get serious about ball time here.
No, they can't. Desperate though. Renegade challenges, picks up the kill, but Rain gets 2. Ryan Noob with the grapple gets the ball back to E United. Falcated decides he's got to go, but he's got 2 players now from E United in front of him. It's doable. Here for E United, Rain gets another.
Oh my God! Off of that, E United will maintain the man advantage. The fly comes in for Spartan. Where did he come from? He gets into the pipes.
Everyone for FaZe arrives just on time. The break is there. 4 dead for E United, and that will be the game. Going to FaZe, and Spartan loves it.
My God, what a push there at the end of the game. As you say, 4 dead. They come flying through the pipes. It's a gap in the setup. E United lets them come through. They had the man advantage momentarily and off of the reset from that spawn. FaZe reminding us why they came into this match with such a winning record there. 3-0, of course, in pools. They look very good in that game, and they ended it with a statement.
They certainly did. Such a good push, but you have to question what happened for E United in those moments. Usually a team who plays with such control, such precision in. Ryan said it himself, they've been working on that spacing, but when things get chaotic, when things get a bit crazy, all of a sudden you realize that maybe you're not in the position you should have been, and that opportunity was all FaZe needed to break through the pipes, pick up those kills, and you can almost see Ryan holding that ball as well. It's like, well, where have they come from? How have they got here?
Certainly, that's how you and I were feeling in the booth there. When you're on the oddball player's POV, keep in mind, that was a 4v3. Rain had just gotten a kill in Whirlpool, giving them that 4-3 advantage. We'll take a look at the highlights from all those rounds there. I mean, what a way to start off this series between these two, and look at the extra taps from Renegade here, and I think we know who those taps are for.
Certainly do indeed. It was Renegade who started off this game impressively with a couple of lovely headshots with that shock rifle. There's another one for the photo album. This time the signature at the bottom of it, of course, is going to be falcated, but it was also a story of camo control for me. I feel like a lot of the time camo was controlled by FaZe for the majority of the game, but this is the moment, Andy, this is the moment somehow E United just don't get the bodies in the right place.
They did not have top gold control. You saw Rain was all the way top elevator, which stretches your pipe setups all the way over to elevator. It gives you a little bit less support. They did not have the gold anchor, and I mean, FaZe, they saw the gap. They double nade pipes from gold. They've come flying through, and they perfect timing on the break, and it's a clutch win there. Had we not seen that, we would likely be in our sudden death round in oddball. Instead, FaZe takes game number 1, 2-0. Oddball recharge. That sends us to a Street Slayer game number 2.
And there's story behind this as well. Street Slayer. Slayer records have been very, very interesting for these two teams. And I actually want to just talk about E United very quickly, because E United at the start of the year, we were raving about how good they were in those Slayer game types, but that has changed a little bit as we've gone through the season. Other teams started taking more and more Slayers off of them. And on the other side of the stage, you could say throughout this weekend, things have changed for FaZe and Slayers too.
They certainly have. FaZe is looking good in the Slayer department. We saw them 1-0 yesterday in Street Slayer specifically. We did see them 0-1 in Orlando. They did lose to G1, so certainly a game type they would have looked at coming into this event. On the other side, E United actually losing to Sentinels earlier in an 0-1 loss, and also 50-46 was the final score there. In Orlando, they were 2-0 in this game type, though. That tees us up for what could be a pretty tight game number 2.
It certainly does. We'll be keeping our eyes on weapon control as well here on Streets, and also if teams can kind of stop the pressure in those moments, right? You see when you get a team who has rockets, bulldogs, stalkers, sometimes you've almost got to accept there's going to be situations in the game where you might get 7 or 8 kills down, but it's a big mental test, I feel, Street Slayer for teams, knowing that that can happen, but also you've got to keep in the front of their mind, if you can turn that around at one point, then you can do exactly the same back. So usually when we're looking at Slayers, 2-3 kills, we're like,
but
oh, this game's pretty close.
I got you.
Until we hit that 45 mark, even if there's 6-7 kills between the two teams, it still is winnable.
Absolutely. When we look at this FaZe roster, we've talked about it, really a dark horse here at the World Championships.
Let's
maybe
go, guys.
looking for the perfect time to strike. Let's not forget, they have not placed within the top 2 all year long, right? They have not broken that top 2 curse, and what a time to do it if they were to strike here at the World Championships.
Yeah, and I want to focus on a couple of players on E United as well, because as crazy as it sounds, you know, Ryan didn't make the first Halo World Championships. Right. You know, he had a decent enough performance with Oxygen Supremacy back in 2018, but Rain has also been a player who's actually performed incredibly well at the Halo World Championships. So on that Team Liquid lineup right at the start of Halo 5, top 4 position for him, and he's also a player who, amongst all of these superstars that we talk about, is still waiting for that first event win. He feels like he's been around for so long now, and he's going to have to turn up with a performance here that's going to be good enough to push E United back into this series, because they're down by 1 and they need this player.
They absolutely do, and I think they know it. And also, you look at the team here in terms of how they look at setups. You heard Ryan talking about space. We know we need to create space, we need to own space, we need to protect space. That collapse in that game number 1 maybe has them thinking, okay, let's dial this in, because letting a team break like that on an oddball setup when you have the man advantage cannot be allowed at the World Championships, quite frankly. I think E United knows that better than anyone after game number 1, and they're going to have to ice up in game number 2 here. Slayer on Streets.
Here we go then. Game number 2 is live as we load back into the lobby. FaZe up by 1. E United looking to answer back, and Street Slayer is always a game type which provides massive moments, opportunities for multi-kills, big plays. It's all in front of us. The question is, are E United going to be able to drag this series back?
One shot outside, 2 coming from like over.
That's right. E United with a rocky day 1 there. 7-6 overall yesterday. Not really the result they wanted. However, it has brought them here to day number 2, and they need to remember they're playing for a world championship as we get ready to jump into the gameplay here, starting things off with Renegade of FaZe.
And why wouldn't you, right? Renegade, I mean, the man is so fun to watch, and immediately you can see he's diving into the action. 2 for 2 across the map. There's the trouble, almost got the boom block. But somehow you saw that Rain managed to thread the needle a little bit there and get that rocket kill.
3 dead for both sides here, an even joust to start off the game here in game number 2. And the pressure coming in from PD, Caution, and Tires. Nick knows that pressure might be a little bit too strong, has to reset as Renegade will fall.
Are you sure?
Fast pace at the start of this one. Both teams just flying at each other. I wonder if this is FaZe trying to take the ascendancy, almost the upper hand emotionally in this game, knowing what just happened at the end of that last game, trying to put the pressure back onto E United and really force them into mistakes. It's 7-5 though. It looks like E United have actually held off of that early rush from FaZe and have a little slender lead though.
Spartan holding B stairs there. He's watching that angle, hoping someone cuts across Neons and makes the mistake. You can see him crouching there just in the observer mode, but they do have them trapped. Spartan actually goes over to the L. They have him trapped right now, all in tramp. Spartan's your lone survivor at benches.
So it was a fast start, but now it's slowed down considerably. 3 men going to push on the pink streak. Not going to work. As E United shut that one down, Renegade left on his own. He picks up one onto Snipe down, so at least a trade somewhere else on the map to keep this somewhat close. But what a hold that was from E United.
I mean, look at that. FaZe trying to run the E United playbook, sending 3 players there. Neons, it doesn't work. Ryan Noob is wise to it. And now E United with an 11-8 lead. Let's get into an Astro listen-in with Ryan.
Coming heaven. He's ice cream to be. In B right now, yep. I got one. Fucking play. Inside B. I don't see anything purple.
Yes, he is. Not hurt. We got 15
rotate
rockets.
Rotate right. Rotate right.
15 seconds, Rocket.
Get up spikes. Get up spikes.
10 seconds now. 10 seconds.
Yep. I'm holding A.
Top spikes.
Give me steps. Posters and heady. Live. Top spikes. We gotta live. We'll fight for rockets. Plans weak. On rockets. Watch out, Delta. Watch out.
Time's weak. Laundry weak. Laundry is sitting.
Rockets are 1-shot purple cell.
Sitting Laundry.
He's going benches with rockets.
Mate team. Last two. Shotty.
Damn, they were trash.
Nice. 18 week.
Nice, guys. Nice, go, Aiden.
And Prunty needs my bench week. He's up spikes. Up spikes, weak. We're going down spikes. Go down first.
Yep, I'm here.
I'll be in arcade with you.
Bottom disruptor. I spawned 2 Mando. I'm nading driveway.
Weak Mando. Care for stairs.
Watch out, Mando. I got fucked up, dude.
One nest. I have to run.
I'm behind them.
Yep, go rotate purple a little bit.
Get going.
Tickets.
Bottom steps. 2 shots. Shot down.
One back C as well.
Give me steps weak. Do you guys heady?
There's one coming. B.
Yeah. He's probably running trash. Yo, I'm arcade, guys. I don't see him.
Should be trash.
Trash your posters.
The one laundry saw me.
He's trash.
Nice job.
Mid. Agent or now. I'm pushing. I can push purple with someone. Okay. He's there. 2 shots purple.
Checking deck. I'm pushing it.
PD, 1 shot. I think I got a beat on PD.
Shot it down where I died.
I got Heaven weak to plants. Switch out.
I got on the back of bottom purple steps. He's going for shot here.
We can hear once again Ryan just directing traffic here for E United. Every single play call is being dictated by the man on your screen right now. The score 22-18, still incredibly close between these two.
Yeah, FaZe not making it easy. It looked like United might start to run away with the game, but that has not been the case. FaZe really playing obnoxiously perfect rotates. You saw when they collapsed on Trem earlier, FaZe actually rotated out towards B, Tires, and all the way down to PD, keeping this game within 4.
Spike's now in the hands of Spartan, trying to make sure that he can control and clear out that pink streak.
One's coming from center.
Play call from E United. Last time the Rockets came up was to flood that pink streak, try and get control of top ATM, those spikes. FaZe will be aware of that. They're trying to rotate across there now, beat them to it, and you can see the FaZe pushed up. The Rockets are massive in this moment.
It's a triple stack on A-Gen. Rain goes B stairs like a madman, picks up a kill as well. 2 dead for FaZe Clan. It's a perfectly timed rocket push for E United, make it 3 dead.
3 dead, Spartan trapped as well. He picks up 1, but you can see his snipe down's position. He should be able to clean this up. Rockets in the hands of Suspector. Who doesn't get the kill? Moments ago, the man got an overkill, but this time he can't even buy 1.
The man was born with an overshield. Falcon on your screen somehow tanks that rocket, tanks the damage. I believe there's 1 left in the courtyard as well. Still a Stalker rifle here. Now a 7-kill game in favor of E United, making an 8-kill game.
8-kill game. E United's trying to pull away from their rivals here, and there's the rocket. There's a 2-for-1. Money back for E United. And Falcade on the receiving end of it as well. All of a sudden, FaZe look like they're falling apart here as 10 kills. Falcade keeps Renegade alive, coming in for help at just the right moment.
I think we were all pretty sure there was one more rocket left, and Ryan Noob said, 1 rocket? I'll get 2 kills with it. Very Ryan Noob way to handle that situation. You got to say, E-United is back in this series in a big way.
They certainly are, and you have to wonder how FaZe are going to respond if they can pull this one back. Keep it respectable, keep it close to 4 from E-United. Nick picks up another one. All of a sudden, E-United find themselves 3 dead. This is why I mentioned, though, you can make these comebacks. You can turn the game around. FaZe need to keep that in mind.
Especially on streets. We've seen it time and time again. This map can be very swingy when teams start to get control. We talked about Bulldog, Stalker, of course, Rockets as well. 33-26 now. Look at Ryan Noob taking game 1 to heart. He's 11-5 in this game.
There's the first pick, though, and it goes to FaZe. It's Renegade with a grenade, Spartan with another, and now FaZe start to up the pace. Rain's going to be challenging Falcade. He takes down another. Rain left on his own with the Rockets coming up as well. In 9 seconds' time, a massive push coming in by FaZe here.
All of FaZe here just collapsing on Tramp. Ryan Noob does have the angle. Look at this. There's going to be a United rocket grab off screen as well. Great job from our observers. We'll take a look at where those rockets go. Looks like in the L, maybe on Neon, the 5-kill game.
I would say maybe a bit of misplay here from FaZe. Spent too long trying to get that final kill and forgot that the Rockets were on the map, and now Snipedown has picked them up. That could have been their way back into the game.
It really felt like they were over-indexing Tram. I agree. 3 of them in Tram there, 1 of them on Balk. It felt like they were really piling into Tram, and now this rocket, will likely connect. Nick, you can thrust, but you can't hide. He'll be taken down.
Dude, I understand that.
I'm going to fly into Tram here.
What's up, Ghost? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was playing some Call of Duty. Dude, I understand the Rockets don't always run straight.
The Rockets back over to E-United, and that means an opportunity. However,
I was trying to play outside tank, but then somebody was sliding in and out.
It's a tough route there, right? Snipedown takes the Rockets up driveway. You're shooting uphill that whole time. He can't connect with that, not able to use the rocket as effectively, and just like that, it's a 4-kill game.
It's a 4-kill game. Spartan's on the flank here, picks up 1. Snipedown's in front of him, backs down smartly. Death's almost as important at this point in the Slayer as picking up those kills. Need to keep them down, need to stay alive, need to help your teammates and close that gap. It's just 3 now between these 2 teams.
Wow.
Yeah.
4:52 left on the clock here, still a 5-kill game. As Spartan's going to pop. Oh!
They
almost saw him on garbage. They did find him. He gets taken down. Snipedown's wise to it. That's a double kill, actually. 2 dead, 3 dead for FaZe. E-United really starting to heat up here in the late game. That's a huge swing. 4 dead for FaZe Clan. Now 44-35 in favor of E-United.
Okay, trapped in PD as well. Information picked up by Suspector, but here's FaZe again, just pushing the pace. They're going to try and bring this one back the only way they know how. And that's why playing that fast-paced game. But one player who loves that, if you're walking to his vehicle, is called Snipedown. He's been doing this for years. Renegade, you're done. Perfect shots from that Stalker rifle.
Wow, and this game has been blown wide open and blown apart. He might do it again. Trades for the triple kill. E-United now only 1 kill away from closing out the game.
3 from Snipedown, 1 more for E-United, and this series is 1-1. The Rockets on the map as well. FaZe will have to commit. They know if they don't get these, this is game done and dusted. Snipedown gets the final kill. And the influence in those big final moments from Snipedown cannot be underrated. We have a series.
Guys, they're
wow, what a game number 2 from E-United. And if you missed game number 1, you're probably thinking, how on earth is this series 1-1 with the way that E-United is playing? They answer back in a huge way, and I mean it when I say I think E-United got the wake-up call they needed in game number 1. They knew they needed to show up, and that man on your screen, Ryan Noob, goes absolutely enormous in the game. His final numbers there were 14 and 8.
At mid-cut.
14 and 8, that's what you want from your leader, right? He's not only making the play calls, but he's contributing in the biggest possible way to the team. And you look across the stats, everyone had moments in that game. Spectre, the overkill that he managed to pick up as well. Snipedown, the triple when it mattered. And then the consistency of Rain and Ryan Noob. Perfect coordination, perfect teamwork, and perfect execution.
Yeah, they're Rain.
Means we find ourselves at 1-1.
I mean, also Snipedown in the end, he goes 11-10 with 11 assists. They had 5 more assists than anyone else on the team, as well as the triple kill to close it. One thing we noticed there at the end, FaZe tried to slow the game down. Right around the 44-38, excuse me, 40-30.
The other one's just playing heady. He's going on
tried to slow the game down. As you take a look at some highlights from that game, it didn't pay off. E-United wants to play this game fast, and they're able to close it out in the end.
At this point in the game, you just felt that FaZe had an opportunity. That
There's
push just before the Rockets came up around 6 minutes left in the game, it was massive. If they would have completed that push and turned attention towards Rockets, not quite spent so much time and didn't need 4 people to look for 1 player alive, you know? They could have turned attention to those rockets. If they get those, then maybe FaZe could have pulled it back, but a bit of a miscommunication, and this play from Snipe Down was enough just to completely quell the fires of FaZe Clan and close that game out, and now we go into the grind. I love the fact I've seen United take a second away from the stage here.
Yeah.
They know FaZe Clan could be an emotional team.
Yep.
Take the game. We know Bazaar's up next. You can wait for us to get back.
And let's all not forget, Renegade is shooting bodies in game number 1, right? He knows what he's doing, right? He sees Snipe Down on back elevator. He's shooting that body, reloads, comes back to the body, adds in some extra melees that Snipe Down will have seen on his
I understand,
right?
but thanks,
Maybe
Ghost.
not the best thing to do against players like Ryan Noob and Snipe Down. When they see that in game number 1, they're going to say, okay, we're really leaning forward now. We're going to lean in for game number 2, and they're going to be ready. And they absolutely shut down FaZe in that second game, a tied-up series. And like you said, Bazaar, CTF, a very different landscape in terms of this series layout.
You never do it game 1. I
shouldn't.
really?
You just shouldn't shoot the bodies. Shouldn't shoot the bodies.
Game 3, game 4, you 2-0 up. Have a
But it's also Renegade.
It's also fun to watch.
It is fun to watch. We're glad he's doing it, and it has certainly set us up for a spicy series here in our winners quarterfinals. We're talking about Bazaar CTF. FaZe is actually 0-1. They lost to Fnatic yesterday.
They did indeed, but this is a very, very strong game type for E United.
Yeah.
The one game type they took of Optic back in Orlando was Bazaar CTF, and the fact that it was a 1-0 victory, there's a lot to talk about with the play style of E United on Bazaar. They are happy to cap 1 flag and spawn trap you for the rest of the game. They don't want to go past the halfway mark unless they are forced to do so. We saw it yesterday against Na'Vi in the group stages, and that crushed Na'Vi's spirits. The way that they played, they got their second flag on the board. It was a 1 flag advantage. E United had no intentions of pushing past that treehouse, past that final wall towards the flag. They were like, boys, you got to come out, and we're going to be watching you.
That's absolutely it. I mean, they were just holding down an obnoxious mid-map control. Let's also not forget what all of United and Snipe Down did against Optic, right? We saw a 1.48 KD overall against Optic in that game. Snipe Down went 1.79 in that game against who is now, largely seen as the best team in the world. So if they can do that against Optic, it's scary to think about what they could do against other teams. We saw them do it yesterday. That will be the playbook that we will expect them to run, especially against a team like FaZe. If they're able to get a flag or 2 advantage, really expect them to hold that mid-map, and they're happy to play 8 additional minutes of Slayer.
And if I'm United right now, I think it's the best possible game plan for this game. If any team, if I was to pick one to try and really drive a point home to frustrate, to anger, it would be FaZe, because we've seen game 1, so Renegade shooting bodies. He's already, getting into the emotional side of the match that's going on right now. The same thing about some of the other players on FaZe. I'm doing it straight away. I'm thinking, I get 1 flag up, I'm forcing you to make plays, and I'm making this a horrid 12 minutes for you. They can get the lead off that, they can go into the front of the series. What does that mean for game 4?
Right, and because of that, that's why we weigh this first flag
2 down,
on Bazaar.
3 down, 4 down, 4 down, let's go.
Every single time we see this map played, that first flag can mean so much in a game type where you don't see many flags scored at all. Overall, during the course of a tournament, that first flag really will determine who's able to sit back on that cushion and begin to slay and spawn trap.
Yeah, a lot of work to be done for both teams here, and we actually want to take a second just to focus on one of the players who's in front of us right now. That's going to be Spartan. We caught up with him a little bit earlier on before the tournament got underway. See what he had to say.
Name's Tyler Ganza, gamertag Spartan, and I currently play for FaZe Clan. I think, like, when you look back on when I was on United, we were very setup heavy, very reserved. I think on this team, we're risk takers. When we have our advantages, we like to push them.
The grenade kill, but Spartan, the dog, has a shot. Oh! And a beautiful snipe on the bounce.
I think on this team, I fit kind of a different role. I can run around and slay, but, when you have people like Falcated and Renegade on your team, you don't really need to as much. I think if you look at our performance at Orlando on Saturday, I literally think that if we played the rest of the tournament on Saturday, we would have won the tournament. If we can emulate that this weekend, other teams are in trouble. I mean, it's the biggest event of the year, right? If my teammates are getting hyped, I'm screaming. I don't know. It's just how I am. I don't know if it's a passion thing or just a vibe thing. I'm just gonna let what happens happen and hopefully put on a show for everybody.
Well, Spartan says he wants to put on a show for everybody here in Seattle, and of course, watching at home, and is going to have to do so in game number 3 now. It's going to be a tough map to do so. Like we mentioned, Bazaar, not too many power weapons, flashy power weapons, I should say, to play with. The Rockets might be the opening that can be created, but I kind of like what he was saying about the way they want to play this as well, right? They want to push the advantages. If they get those numbers, I want to see FaZe play and put the pressure back onto E United. Game 3 is live. It's the swing game here, Bazaar CTF.
And how fitting that Ryan Noob has to go through his former team in order to get further on in the bracket. Of course, the same can be said for Snipedown on the other side of the stage, as those two have swapped rosters now. And as you can tell by the first 2 games, the rivalry has only heated up even more during the series. As you say, Bazaar CTF going to be your go-ahead game in the series to determine who will take a lead heading into game number 4 as we lock in right now. Game number 3 is live.
Have to start with Spartan. We've heard from the man. Now let's watch the end of his battle rifle and see how he starts off this game. Overshield, Rockets, both available at the start of Bazaar. We know it could be almost the best time to cap a flag at times. Rain gonna win the battle here for E United. I think that Nick might have picked up the Rockets though on the other side for FaZe.
2v2. Nick misses the rocket. Grapples in. It was a perfect play for a moment. Now a 1v1 here. What a perfect split here. As he's going to grab the Overshield versus Rocket battle, but Nick decides he wants no more of that and will grapple out.
I mean, one thing I will say there for Nick, yeah, the second rocket was a little bit shaky.
Yeah.
But the escape was absolutely brilliant. Managed to use that grapple to get away. Rain now going to be using the Overshield to pick up a couple of kills. They still haven't managed to, yes they have, excuse me, managed to pick up Nick's kill on their side of the map. So now E United know they can face forward. They can turn their attention towards these respawners. At the moment, FaZe are trapped in the base.
See what Spartan can do here. Knows he's in trouble, tries to get the tree. That's not going to happen. Nick's in trouble at the double door as well. Right now, a good push from E United.
Brilliant from Rain as well. Knows he doesn't have to challenge. Knows the help is there from his teammates. And now he knows that flagpole is going to be pulled as well. So Ryan coming off spawn is actually massive as well, because now he can watch the overextension back in his base. Rain is now turning his attention to mid-map. However, somehow, Nick has managed to stop that flag before it even gets out of the base.
Nick with a bit of a hero stop there in that 1v1. Renegade going to make sure the return goes as well. Range is holding lockers, and you can tell how slow these two teams are playing this game type. They know so much is on the line here in this swing game.
Martin tries to break FaZe out by pushing bottom middle. However, E United set up exactly for that. They're so talented when it comes to holding mid-map here on Bazaar. The FaZe are going to have to take a couple of deaths through this game just to break out and try and get a little bit of space.
I mean, this is truly the most difficult and grueling game type. Not only in Halo Infinite, you could make the argument that this is one of the most grueling and labor-heavy game types ever to be played in competitive Halo. You can see that right now. It is just an absolute bloodbath for mid-map, and guess what? After you do that, you're rewarded with the privilege of having to slay the team once again in their base. You really got to fly and slay anywhere from 2 to 3 times to get a capture. 3 dead for FaZe.
3 dead for FaZe, and not good news because the Overshield's up as well. Renegade trying to do what he can to fight for it, to scrape for it, to claw for that power-up, but that's going to be grabbed and it's going to be picked up. No, it's not. It's going to be left on the floor. His pockets get robbed, but Ryan is there to pick up the change.
Ryan Noob, the pickpocket, comes in, has a grapple as well. King Nick goes for the hero ninja. That's not going to happen. Double kill for Ryan Noob, holding forward, but getting melted and schmelted by Renegade there. Falcated with a nice bait. Renegade will take advantage of that and take down the Overshield. So as we said, even when it looks like a team has control, in just a moment at mid-map, it can be taken away.
This is just a war at the moment between these two teams. One opportunity for a flagpole came in from E United, but did not make the most of it. Falcated challenges and wins that challenge. As now attention turns towards the Rockets, it really is just both teams headbutt each other mid-map until these weapons come up. One team needs to make the most of the opportunity once they get some weapons or power-ups in their hands.
2 dead for United. Rockets in hand as well. This should be an opportunity that you speak out for FaZe. They know their players in bar as well as lockers need to make sure they get these kills and time them well.
Okay, just been baited out at the moment. E United set up so brilliantly. Snipedown. I want to take a second to talk about that play, Andy, because that is bigger than it looks. Snipedown a couple of shots. He's trying to bait out the rocket play.
Looked clean to me. No back whack is granted. In the end, that will be a rocket trade. Snipedown going to get that single rocket that's left.
As I was saying, Snipedown baited that rocket out, made them use one, and now Snipedown will pick up the second rocket himself to push forward. And E United now with FaZe, 2 dead, have the opportunity to move this flag through the tree. The second chance for E United to convert.
Sure, look at Spartan just spawning right there, almost next to the reticle here. Oh! He wins a big 1v1, 2 dead for E United as well. That's important.
Ryan taken down as well. 4 dead for E United, so a great defensive play again from FaZe. Renegade finds himself in new territory. That's going to be inside of the E United base. Still 2 dead, and Nick has the overshield now for FaZe. This is the opportunity they have been desperate for in the first few moments of this game.
2 dead yet again. That's about 6 straight kills there. Finally, Renegade goes down, but big control here coming in for FaZe Clan as they start the rocket side run.
Rocket side run, they've seen the overextension as well. You can hear guns being fired, but Rain's going to get that first pick. Nick's going to have a lot of work to do here. He knows his players are around him, above him. Dynamo's flying in as well, and he's got that overshield to play with as well.
Let's see how they play this year. During this mid run, let's get to an Astro listening here with FaZe Clan.
Very good, very good. Archery to Balk.
Oh yeah, keep holding this.
They're gonna be hot.
They're gonna push you, they're gonna push you.
We have to fight back to their side.
I'm getting spawn killed again. They're literally just spawn killing me.
Can you come back to me? No, I'm dead, dude.
Yeah, they're gonna pull tie. We just have to stop this.
I wasn't here.
Flag return.
On their 2 up, 3 their dubs.
Here there.
Just get on mid-map, get on mid-map.
We need to hold the fucking map, dude. 10 rocks right now.
There's spikes. One on me. Headshotty, we coming. I'm double snipe. Watch out for the shots. I have shots. I have nades. They're lockers.
No, I don't have nades. I'm looking. Yeah, they're beer.
He's still lockers on the right.
I got him.
We are weak, guys. I might die.
Look at the beer. Yeah, beer weak.
I got it.
Guys, hold the map.
Yeah, they're beer. Two.
Watch out their elbow. Watch out their low elbow, Nick. Ryan's here.
They're coming from both sides.
There's 2 watch their elbow. They both have thrusts. Close right, tell
right there. Nice.
I got there.
Get it, guys.
I got one. They're tree, I think.
Rockets.
There's 3 dead right now. There's 3 dead.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm here.
I'm Balk. I don't see tree now. Watch out. They're tree.
We have everything. We have everything.
Watch out their beer. Watch out their beer. I have rockets there.
I
see nothing in their tree. Yeah.
He was there.
Okay, I'm just milking it. Where? Talk to me, dude.
I don't know. Coming.
In the fight.
I'm here, John.
Okay.
They're BR on me. I got a melee. Watch out in their BR. Left corner.
Right. Back from are you?
Back going dead.
He's on the bar. What's he doing?
On the bar. I can't pull this thing.
Watch on the bar. Absolute crap. What's the bottom shotty?
I can't pull this thing.
He's still bottom shotty, dude. I'm gonna die.
I died out there.
There's 2 there.
3 here.
Fuck, man. As we jump back into game here, you can see the score has changed in the favor of E United. They get that vital, that valuable first cap here on Bazaar. And you have to say it was such an interesting passage of play because at one point, it looked like FaZe should have been the team going ahead.
They really did. We talked about just how important that first cap is. By the way, 4 dead for FaZe yet again. Here comes E United. And they are continuing to strike, just pinching those thrust spawns, and still 2 dead. They're going to look for a little bit of mid-map control as they reset for just a second, but that gives us a moment to talk about that run. FaZe tries to run that bottom rocket. It's not an easy run, and because they lose Renegade first, they don't convert on it, and E United capitalizes off the back of that. Ryan Newton picks up 1, 2, 4 dead for FaZe again, back-to-back, and E United running a clinic, 4:30 left, and they have their eyes on a second flag.
They do indeed. This is interesting, right? We were talking about how maybe E United would be thinking about 1 flag is enough. We're going to hold mid-map, and even though you can see the flag is moving, not taking any risks whatsoever. FaZe Clan are pinned in the back of their base, and this is where Ryan loves to see his enemies without an escape option.
Flag will be returned there. Ryan Noob tries to make something happen. They drop the flag in bar. They don't continue the bar run. Instead, he drops double doors and maintains a presence. But guess what? He can get away with that because of that ever-important 1 flag cushion that we talked about.
Overshield up as well now, so mid-map control again. All E United's Renegade is behind enemy lines, but with 2 of his teammates dead, there's not much he's going to be able to do about another power-up pickup here for E United. A chance for them to move forward, or maybe just a chance for them to make FaZe's life even more hard to get out of their base.
Exactly what we said we saw from E United against Optic. It's exactly what we saw from them against Na'Vi yesterday. They're running the playbook, and so far, so good. Double kill again for Rain. Still a little bit of overshield as well.
This is fascinating for me, how this is going to impact the rest of this series. The way that E United love to play this map, is they love to get a lead and just grind you down. Falcated off spawn, couple of shots, Rain disappears back to mid-map. This is going to be so horrid to play against.
It is, and you have to do it for another 3 minutes yet. Renegade starting a flag run though. Snipedown was the first to die, so a minor 1-man advantage.
Now can FaZe take advantage? Ryan is alive and he's inside of the hut. Spartan picks up 1, Rocket's coming up as well. Suspector picks up a kill. This is a massive battle, but Renegade doesn't get the finish. Now Renegade turns his attention to bottom middle. Snipedown has no idea, and Renegade He's almost doing it all himself for the moment. United find themselves 2 down.
2 dead. Renegade drops to get the Dynamos. He's going to shoot a bit more here. They want to slay. However, still 2 man. They need to be running this flag.
This is a great run for them. You can see they've got it back to the double doors. They've got all of E-United trapped. And even though E-United were saying, we want to keep this a 1-0, FaZe have something to say about it. It's 1-1 now.
And that really is always the risk when you do try to play that slaying game. You open the door for the other team to start really prioritizing the objective. However, E-United does stabilize after that run. They do find themselves with a man advantage, 3 dead momentarily. They will reset.
2:20 left on the game clock as well. Next flag run, next flag pull could be the one that wins it. It gives one of these 2 teams an advantage in the series. Puts them up 2-1 on 1 game away from sending the other down to the elimination bracket. Ryan has a little bit of a hope, but again, you overshield the focus here.
Look at the presence as Overshield's popping right now. That will be sniped down, grabbing it. Does not immediate pop. Actually going to do a little bit of extra damage here. Let's see exactly when he pops. That'll be interesting. Takes no chances, pops it in the lockers. Here comes the push.
Made more difficult though as Ryan does fall. But here comes Snipe down, moving in. Should find 2 here onto Nick. Wow. Can he turn it into a triple? Falcao in. Nice try, my friend. He gets the trade, but it's a triple. And most importantly for E-United, an opening as FaZe find themselves 3 dead.
Wow, 4 dead there, as you say. 2 spawners are already up. However, E-United will start the rocket side run. It's a big green gun coming in from Destructor to pick up another one as well. It's a bottom rocket run, but it's a flag fumble.
It's a fumble.
Oh my God.
And now Rain has to go back and do a little bit more work than he would have wanted to. Spawn's there, but Spawn has no idea Rain is here. Big win coming in from Tim Tinkler. Can he turn 2? Yes, he can. He's trying to do it all, and Ryan Oob has that flag back to the elbow. FaZe, 3 of them in the black screen. This will be the go-ahead flag for United.
With 1 minute on the clock as well, the flag fumble becomes a flag bait. It's perfectly timed. 800 IQ play. They get the extra 2 kills on the rocket side. They are up 2-1 with 50 seconds left.
And it's sniped down with the overshield again. 2 triple kills in this series. 2 of them might be enough to turn 2 games into wins here for E-United. They're just going to hold on for 40 seconds here, but here come FaZe.
Boom, boom, boom with a bulldog from Ryan Noob here. 2 dead for a moment. However, they will answer back, get the kill that they needed. Rocket side. Renegade still trying to make this push happen.
Still time for 1 more. Desperate push, but there's Rain again, shutting things down, 18 and 12. He finds himself on at the moment. Those 2 kills on that flag run, though, probably the most important of the 18. Nick trying to fly forward, 15 seconds left, and counting down. E-United South camp inside the base, and they say, you shall not pass.
Nick is left with an almost impossible situation here as he tries to make the push happen. Let's see, 2 dead for both sides. 2 seconds on the clock, that's it.
That's it, it is done, it is dusted. Bazaar is won again by the ruthless E-United. They had to work for it, they had to scrap for it. But what a turnaround that is. Game 1 went to FaZe, remember, and now 2 back-to-back means E-United are 1 game away from sending FaZe down to the elimination bracket.
Wow, and we talk about just how good E-United is on Bazaar and their objective prioritization as well. How about the flag fumble becoming the perfect bait for 2 players to try to fly across on bottom rocket side? The last thing you expect is Rain to double back past the flag and pick up a kill on the Bangler spawn as well. He gets additional help on the rocket side. They continue the run, and that ends up becoming the game-winning flag.
How do FaZe respond from that? How do FaZe bounce back? On the back foot for the first time in the series, knowing they're staring down the barrel of an elimination bracket run. If they can't send this to a game 5, and now we move over to a game type where I do feel FaZe will feel much, much more comfortable. That game type is, of course, going to be strongholds on Livefire.
I mean, and also take a look at the energy, the momentum on the E-United side of the stage, right? They're back in this series in a big way. Now with a lead of 2-1, they look so different from the way that they did after that game number 1. That's a huge, pivotal game 3 win for them. And let's remind everyone, just joining us here maybe on Saturday of the Halo World Championship, welcome along as we get into game number 4. FaZe is the favorite in this series based on pool play yesterday, without a doubt. Those results indicated that FaZe should take the series. However, we now find ourselves with E-United leading 2-1. Here we are in game number 4.
Will this be the end of the series, or will we go to a game 5? It's time to find out now, and Suspector starting off hot once again. He's been quietly going about his business in this series.
And if you are an E United fan, you might be interested in knowing that FaZe was 0-3 in this game type in Orlando. This will be a tall task against a very hot E United. Sniped out, heating up with the sniper rifle.
That's not what you want to see at the start of the game if you like FaZe. And that's headshots coming in from the sniper rifle with Snipe down.
Killed me.
Rain's going to get the first overshield again. Power up prioritization and control for E United in the last game was almost flawless. And this time they get the first one again, but here's Renegade being an absolute nuisance.
Wow, what a joust there. Renegade trying to go for that repulse. Instead, the kills will be traded out in the back of the tower against the overshield. It's going to be 3 dead for FaZe off the back of those kills.
Okay, it should fall as well. A lot of damage being done. And finally, a player going to push to clean him up. So Ryan turns the sniper rifle back over, and not only that, 3 strongholds go into the hands of E United. They have weapons, a trip cap. Even though FaZe got out to a good start here by around 39 points, now you're seeing E United just storm back into this game.
Ryan Noob versus Spartan at the bottom of the tower, and Ryan Noob's got all the goodies. He's going to pick up the kill on that one, and what was an early lead, 39-0, is now a tied game here. E United go into the lead. As we say, it's often slow and steady wins the race in strongholds. You let the first plays play out, especially with that overshield shaking things up, but it will be E United taking the lead now, 51-39.
And you can see, even though FaZe managed to kind of stem the bleeding for a second by getting control of A, E United had such a good spread across the map. They had 2 players at B, they had 2 players at C, and now FaZe find themselves finding that out for themselves. They're 4 dead, they're all in the death screen, and an opportunity maybe to push for a trip cap once again, but instead it looks like the prioritization, the call coming in from E United is perfect. More! King Nick gets a haircut and it's not what he likes.
2 dead here, look at this. Now, 4 dead again. I can't even say it fast enough because they're getting 4 dead in a beautiful manner. Ryan Noob deploys the shield, gets the brainer on the dummy door. They get the overshield, making it look too easy. They're up 94-39 now.
Not looking good for FaZe, especially when Ryan Noob is hitting headshots. He's got an overshield and he's got a heat wave. They want this bad. He should get the reset here as well. It's a triple cap still, and again, FaZe lose everyone.
Ryan Noob is getting medals I've never even seen in this game. He picks up another one. It's chaos on the FaZe side of the stage, now 124-39.
The only medal that FaZe have got so far in this game is a participation medal because it's been all E United. Finally again, FaZe managed to make at least something. I mean, something's up right now.
Suspector is 10-0 right now. Suspector just dunking on FaZe with a frenzy there. 10-0 in this game. They have yet to kill him, and they have 133 points on the board.
He's on the hunt once more. 11-0 for Suspector. He's got a sniper rifle as well, but even though he's having fun, FaZe, they managed to finally start scoring again. B is the focus of the play here for E United. They should be able to turn it back over.
Not over yet. Let's keep in mind, even though that was an unbelievable run for E United, they are now 4 dead. FaZe Clan looking to bounce back here, regain some control. Down by about 80 points, but this game far from over.
100%. Big swings can happen. E United, that comeback that they managed to put together in Orlando, they'll be more than aware than anyone that this could turn over. The reset from Nick coming in at just the right second. E United still 2 dead here, and FaZe Clan back into the game now.
Back in the game, and this is what you don't want to see if you're United. You need to continue to apply that slaying pressure. Do not let FaZe Clan get back in this game because they will run you over if you give them the room.
Really big kill coming in from Renegade as well. You saw the Nick gave him information. Maybe FaZe were thinking about going towards B instead by just showing, shouldering. It lets the rest of his team move through the cuts, move towards C, but it's going to be read by E United again. They double back, but look at the score. Overshield popping up. Spawn, excuse me. Off snipe now, not going to be able to pop it, so that's still available. And here comes the flank from Valkyrie. FaZe, they crossed the 100-point mark. It's now just a 30-point game.
Trying to find that overshield as well. Looks like it was going. They thought it wasn't burnt. There it is. Valkyrie does get it without going down. Ryan almost takes him down in time, but Valkyrie pops the overshield and makes the push.
Valkyrie's done so much damage here onto 2 players. Where's the rest of FaZe though? Can they take advantage? Those shields are going to be coming back now. And Valkyrie is left on his own. He has to hit big shots onto Suspector with that commando. He's buying so much time for his teammates here, but where's the rest of FaZe? This is taking too long to get on the same page.
Yeah, they try to get the bait and switch there. It kind of works, but in the end, as you say, not enough control that they would have wanted. They will eventually start to work on A here.
Spiked out by Suspector. Rhino picks up one as well, so now you can see that Valkyrie has no choice but to back up in this situation. FaZe have had kills on their side for the last 30 seconds or so, but they're still not managed to turn over one of these strongholds.
Yeah, what felt like it was going to be a swing there for FaZe to tie this game up has resulted in continued control and continued points on the board here for E United, now leading 170 to 102.
Big push now coming in from FaZe towards B. Falcate's got numerous members of E United in front of him, and now with them falling down bottom middle towards that tunnel, there might be an opportunity for a trip cap to be pushed. Instead, the call comes in from FaZe. We're going to try and hold the two.
Ryan catches Falcated in the middle of that slide from sandbags over to B, takes advantage of that. That will give them a minor advantage here. Let's see how they respond, though, with FaZe in control of BC.
Ryan just trying to watch over his teammates at the moment. Splitting his attention between that C stronghold and B. B gets converted by E United, so they will be scoring once again. A 50-point difference between the two teams, but FaZe are going to stop that scoring in just a few seconds as they now control the ends of the map. Ryan able to do damage. Overshield coming up in 1 second or so as well. Nick's got to hit these shots. He manages to do so, and that will mean an Overshield going to FaZe.
Wow, 2 dead here for E United, 3 dead for E United, and this does not look good for the blue squad. Here off the respawn, they're going to have to look for big control. Nick still with a full Overshield to play with.
Nick's going to be flying in as well. They want this triple cap. Renegade with a sniper rifle in his hands as well. And this is the first time we've seen the toys in the hands of FaZe for quite some time, and that turns A, B, and C all red, which means the triple cap could see them go into a lead. They have made the comeback here, FaZe, and now they're in control.
Wow, what was an 80-point lead has been absolutely annihilated. Here comes the FaZe push, 2 dead. This will be 3 dead there. 1 player is a spawner. They will continue scoring and continue leading.
Great resilience being shown here by FaZe. A lot of people would have been questioning, can you come back in this series? Can you come back from a hot start from E United? The answer is yes. Ryan left on his own now on the back of B. He's going to be challenged, but you can see another triple cap opportunity here for E United. The longer that Ryan stays alive, the less likely it is to happen, but it's all red again. FaZe are in control.
Wow, still a trip cap here. You're hearing the FaZe Clan fans in the building starting to get loud here as this has been an unbelievable comeback. How many times in competitive play do teams that are on the receiving end of a killing frenzy come back in a game? I can tell you, you could probably count it on a single hand. Unbelievable run here from FaZe Clan.
FaZe Clan won a game 5. E United struggling to get back into this. Overshield coming up pretty soon as well. We've seen the last couple of those controlled by FaZe. That's been their way back into this game, as has this man with a sniper rifle.
Teamwork here. Ryan still down, so that's going to give them a 2-man advantage here. Those skills will be traded out. Snipe down your last player alive for E United. It's a 3v1.
3v1. Heatwave's going to make this battle a little bit easier, but it's Snipe down you've got to deal with, but he deals with it perfectly. Back shot to take down Eric Rona. Overshield up as well. Renegade starting to take over.
Big 1v1 play though. Look at the scoreboard. He is popping off here, getting loud as well. Oh God, I would have had a heart attack.
With that, it will be FaZe, not just back in the game, but completing the comeback. FaZe send us to game number 5.
You can't write it any other way. You cannot. The FaZe fans in the building are stoked. We are going to a game number 5. That is officially one of the most historic comebacks of the opening year of Halo Infinite in the HCS. What a run there from FaZe to bounce back in that game when they thought all hope might be lost. They'd rally back, and E United now has a moment to think about that last game. They let maybe the series slip away from them, you could say, and how many times this season has E United been in that situation? Reverse swept by Sentinels on Sunday morning of Championship Sunday. They have blown leads before, and what looked like it was a series securing game instead will now go to a series deciding game number 5.
This is a Halo World Championship caliber series between these two.
Yes, it is.
They have saved the best till the last event of the season. And that comeback from FaZe, there's so many moments to talk about, but I want to highlight the amount of damage that Falcate was doing with that one life where he had Overshield just to create space, to create openings, which leaves us in a position where FaZe complete that comeback. Renegade's getting pumped up. And we're going to a game 5, baby.
And that is scary if you're E United, because keep in mind, a lot of times, Renegade, cool, calm, and collected, keeps to himself. If Renegade starts yelling, you have fired the man up, and he will be in World Championship form. Absolutely wild as we get ready for this game number 5.
Well, it looks like we're actually going to jump across to another game 5 that's going down right now. As we prepare for this one to get going as the players take their break, and it's going to be a game 5 between Cloud9 and Native Red. And Native Red are 10 kills away from upsetting Cloud9.
What on earth are we seeing here? You have to wonder, how are we jumping to another game 5 while we wait for this player bracket? This is why. Native Red, 42-26 over Cloud9.
Get me a camera in that passion pit right now on that feature station, because I want to see the reaction of Native Red if they manage to knock Cloud9 down to that elimination bracket. Soul Snipe versus Penguin. Oh my goodness me, Soul Snipe.
Feels like that battle might have been indicative of this game so far. It's 45-30.
What is happening?
In favor of Native Red. Never placed inside the top 4 at land. Cloud9 never placed outside the top 2.
4 kills to go. Cloud9 holding their own. There's a flank coming in from Drunk though. He picks up 1. 2 kills to go. It's 49.
He's over by me.
1 more. And this could be the biggest upset we've seen so far in the HCS.
You guys, you can plant deep.
Bound picks up 1. Drunk desperately looking for that final kill. Soul Snipe gets it. Native Red.
He's back by our spawn once.
Pull off the unbelievable.
Oh my God. They rushed the camera over and we have one. You are witnessing this Native Red roster walking over to the C9 of the stage for handshakes. And they will send Cloud9 to the losers bracket. Do not adjust your TV screen. Holy
again.
crap. C9 falls early from the winners bracket.
What do you want from me?
Native Red. For those of you just joining us, of course, longtime KCB roster. They're back together here for the World Championships, and they just upset the Guardians of the Grand Finals. 50-35 or something in game number 5. My God.
How good we jumped into that one. I mean, game 5. Game 5. It seems to be a game 5 kind of day, and we've still got a game 5 here on our main stage as well behind us to decide who is going to be progressing into that championship bracket, that next round. And wow, how that has changed things for the narrative of this game.
I think the last one just
whoever wins this game probably thinking going into it we play Cloud9. No more. Native Red wait for the winner of the game 5 we have in front of us between FaZe and E-United.
Look at the other side of the bracket. Pretty clean 3-0s. It is carnage down here on the bottom. And the winner here, that we're also just getting word that was a reverse sweep against Cloud9. So any of you who are watching that stream on our secondary broadcast, you just witnessed a treat. That is a series we are going to go back and watch. But oh my God, the winner of this series will now face Native Red. We are getting ready for game number 5. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
This is chaos. Game 5.
We're trying to keep it together here, everyone.
But we can't.
We're trying to kind of take you through what's happening, but like Bravo said, I mean, it is chaos here on Saturday in Seattle. And now we've got a game 5 to decide who will play Native Red. Aquarius is going to be the battleground. Slayer, first to 50. Let's see who is going to move on.
It's a perfect story. Both of these teams are 1-0 yesterday in this exact game type. This is a coin flip. This is down to the wire. Players on each side of the stage playing against their former rosters from earlier this year. Snipedown versus FaZe. Spartan versus E-United. Ryan New versus Spartan. This was deep in the rivalries.
E-United versus Europe as well. Here we go. FaZe are into the game. And we're starting off from the point of view of the man who was popping off at the end of that game to get FaZe back into this series. It's going to be Renegade 1-1 off the break.
Wow. Could not have this any other way. If you're just joining us here in the winners quarterfinals, welcome to the Halo World Championship. It's day number 2. And things are heating up even more than we might have expected. 2-2 off the opening between these two squads. Of course, first to 50 will take the series.
Camouflage still up on the map. No one got hold of that as yet. Looks like FaZe are going to prioritize a few kills before they do go to it. It's a great start. Nick picks up a double, which allows Renegade to maybe just about get away, but he's hunted down by Ryan Noob.
Ryan Noob ready for that angle as well. That's a late camo grab, by the way. 36 seconds into the game before that camo was picked up.
I don't know where you lost bomb at.
5-5. Nothing between the two. However, Nick and Spartan combined to create something out of nothing but range. Shuts down Nick. Such a vital moment to make sure that he at least evened up the numbers for a second for E-United to get back into the map.
Got to wonder, how does the United respond here off the momentum that FaZe would have gotten after that comeback? Let's not forget, Suspector was on a killing frenzy in that game number 4 on Livefire, and they get absolutely shut down by a huge run of FaZe. Can FaZe transfer that momentum here into game number 5?
8-8, United managed to pick up a couple of kills here just to pull this game a little bit closer. Fun though, he's going to give the lead. He goes for the ninja. I imagine he managed to pull that one off against Rhino. I think we would have heard it right from back here on the caster station.
You got to think this game is going to be tight neck and neck all the way through until a team blows this open and really gets the safe opportunity to push something like a 3-dead or a 4-dead. However, you could really see kills traded out before then. Neither team wants to be the one that makes the mistake.
Both teams also realize that camouflage is up in around 10 seconds time. So every pick is going to create an opportunity to get up the map. There's the trade. 3-3 on the map. Snipe Down going to make the move on that camouflage. We can see the damage being done by Renegade. It's going to force him off the top middle. Now he turns his attention towards protecting his teammates. It's a good push from United here, but you can also see that Renegade has a thrust, and he has the opportunity now to move on that camo, pick it up, and get out of dodge.
He's the last guy alive, though. They need to be careful here. Tied game. Renegade somehow gets away with the camo off of some really great plays there, commanding top mid. Really smart timing there from Renegade. He comes away with the camo, all tied up at 13.
Is the heat wave going to be up? You can see it is. So now Renegade's going to have to just use that battle rifle. He's giving his position away as his teammates will fall. Rain snips him out. Rain has to win this. Rain takes down Renegade. Camo is dusted.
Gives him an extra smack as well. Great use of the head glitch there, all the way at bottom pink. You had to think that United was going to collapse on camo. Instead, Rain does the job himself. That will give them a 1-kill lead.
Oh, here come FaZe. Not too happy about that one. They are flying out because they get pressured from the other side of their base as well. Now comes the pinch from United. Spawn trying to keep Nick alive, but he's got 2 players in front of him. Somehow they get out of here, but Suspector will give a 2-kill advantage now to United.
Oh my God, Suspector does it again there. As you saw in the death cam there, somehow picks up 2 kills from this pink side connector. That will now give them a 2-kill lead yet again. 8:46 left on the clock. Killing spree for Suspector here as he picks out Renegade bottom middle.
I have to say, Suspector has been putting in a fantastic performance so far in this series. Ryan Uben Rain said that he is now part of the trio. It's no longer the duo. Snipe Down does what he does best as well. The first time we've seen United any kind of significant lead, they're up by 3.
My God, and what a wild day it's been. Now a 3-kill lead, the biggest lead we've seen in a moment here. These two teams, as we said, they know how important this series is. Yes, we're just in the quarterfinals, but with the talent and the caliber of teams here, you have to think winning here is going to really determine what your bracket looks like. Still a 3-kill game here in favor of the United.
Camo, again, the focus for both teams. Last time we saw it, Renegade had it in his hands, but it was Rain who managed to win that vital 1v1 battle. In order to not make it effective in the way that it usually turns games, FaZe are going to have to get their eyes on this. But I kind of like this from Renegade, pushing past it, trying to trap Snipe Down. King Nick works perfectly with him, and now they can turn their attention to top mid.
1 kill at a time. You can just tell how slow they're taking this. They know they need to make sure they're pushing at the exact same time. That will be a camo pop for Nick on FaZe. And he somehow stays alive there, almost gets shut down a second time. Suspector can see him. I think we're all getting tingles on the toes here. Nick's still doing damage into the Jen. He picks up a perfect kill on Snipe Down, brings the game within 2.
There's only one man who was clenching cheeks harder than me there, and that was Nick! Picks up the triple and ties the game up.
Oh my God, cool under pressure. Shots coming in from all angles. We're getting nervous here in the casting booth. But Nick staying collected here with the camo. Also going to push yet again with the heat wave.
This has been the game changer, the heat wave, the camo. As he tries to stay alive, United just can't flush him out at the moment. FaZe go into a lead by 1. Heat wave in the control of FaZe as well. And we've seen how much damage you can do, especially on land with that weapon. You could just fry shields.
And this shows just how tightly these teams are matched. 32-31 here
there's 2 P5
as we approach the late game, but very slowly. These teams respecting one another, making sure they don't make these bold pushes that could cost them in the end. It feels like kills have been traded out really since that 10-kill.
Camo going to be up at 30 as well. The Dynamos, I think, were being played for by FaZe as well. You can see that they do manage to pick up a kill off the back of it as well. When the game slows down, if you can get those Dynamos in your hand, then all of a sudden you can open up the map. But it's not going to wait for a push to come in from United. FaZe is going to start one himself, and it's going to be Nick who makes that play.
3-kill leader, what a time to do it here. This is the home stretch, only 15 kills to go. It's a heat wave thrust still for Nick as well.
Bold play, does have the thrust though. Rhino taken down, Rain's going to be there. Here comes the help from Renegade.
Renegade Renegade actually does it so well, backs down. Eventually, he's taken down, so kills will be traded out to a piece. It's a 2-kill lead for FaZe Clan.
Camo's still up, though. Camo's still on the map here. Complete control of the Dynamo side of the map is in the favor of E United. You can see the FaZe are trying to contest it, but that just presents an opportunity for Snipedown to pick up his 5th in a row. He's on a killing spree. The game is tied up.
Here we are, tied at 37. Let's hear what the late game comms sound like on the side of FaZe Clan in the final moments here. Here's an Astro listening.
P2 red, P2 red. They might push.
On camo.
Red P.
Watch out, I traded. Watch out, top in camo.
The car.
Well, absolute, their car's
red
over
car
camo.
3, red car 3.
Car's over camo.
Front red.
Alright, yeah. On Donos. They're Donos, back up. First. Here, melted. Car 2. Good. Bottom. He's camo. Back up, Nick. Back up.
On Dinos.
Throw my engine, Mike.
Stay alive, Mike. Yeah, we need a high, John. They're pushing blue. 3 pushing blue.
I just want a red window. I can shoot, but cross my big
I got one.
Sniper's weak behind you guys.
I hear that. I'm one.
I'm one. Absolutely. Yeah, two ping there. Are they going out? What's up? There's something. Guys, we need to hold the map here, dude.
There's something blue. Two year weak.
We're back into the game. It's a 2-kill advantage here to E United. FaZe somehow, with just 2 players alive, keep this game close with that flood coming in towards the blue base. But Spartan says, you know what? I'm tired of hiding. I'm going hunting.
Down to the wire there. It looked like it should have been an E United advantage somehow. As you say, FaZe stays alive. It's a trade there between Snipedown and Spartan, now tied at 44.
Rain's trapped top middle. Down to no shields, has to move himself back towards the safety of his teammates. Camouflage up in 10. 6 kills for either team to win what has been one of the most epic game 5s we've seen in years.
1 kill lead here for FaZe as things come down. Now it's 46-44. What a push here.
E United are flooded. E United are falling. 4 dead. As FaZe Clan get fired up. It's 2 to go.
Look at Renegade's player cam. He is still yelling. He is fired up. He knows how close they are to shutting down E United in game 5.
The newest piece of the puzzle, Nick, has the game in his hands. He's got the camo. He's got the heat wave. All he needs to do is pick up a win for FaZe.
So much information. He does not want to misplay this, though. He has the advantage. He can go.
Into the fridge he goes. Snipe down, he's dead. Renegade picks up one. Here comes FaZe! FaZe Clan winning in a game 5 epic.
What an unbelievable series. You can tell how much it means to these guys on stage. And another comeback win from FaZe in what felt like it might be an E United series closer. They fight back from the disadvantage. They bring the game back. And in a clean sweep, they will take game number 5.
What a series that was. It was a pleasure and a privilege to be a part of that. I mean, back and forth. E United looked like they had it at one point. That Strongholds game, it was within their grasp, but then Renegade and Nick coming together in game 4 and 5 turn the tables in the favor of FaZe.
I mean, all of that late game composure. When we were in that, listen, and Spartan is holding the back of the base with Renegade, and they don't have camo. They don't have the lead. Somehow they bring it back, but you can tell just how much that meant to those players as they pop up. As we said, so many rivalries on the stage in between those 2 teams that have developed over the course of not just this season, but years.
Incredible performance from FaZe Clan to take home that game 5. We've been blessed with being able to see the results of 2 different game 5s in the last few moments of time. C9 down in the elimination bracket, E United down in the elimination bracket, and it will be Native Red who go up against FaZe now in that championship bracket. I mean, it's only Saturday.
I was going to say, nobody called this. Show me your brackets if you called this one, because there's no way anyone saw all of this playing out this way. As you say, though, this series, unbelievable. One of the favorite series of the season that we've had a chance to be a part of, down to the wire, and truly an unforgettable series.
And an unforgettable one for FaZe as well. I just feel like FaZe are such a momentum team. They needed that big win against one of the big teams.
They did.
And they've got it now. What does that mean for them moving through this bracket?
I mean, that is the question, right? We've always wondered, can FaZe break the top 2? They have not placed top 2 all year long. What a time to do it. Would be the Halo World Championship. In the end, they have to fight through a gauntlet of E United wins. They're finding themselves down 2-1, backs against the wall. They rally back from deficits, as you mentioned, in games 4 and 5 to close them out in the end with huge margin.
Great performance from FaZe, and to be honest with you, I want to hear what it was like from the players themselves to be part of that Game 5. FaZe Clan, they turned the series on its head. Blaze is down on the stage right now with Spartan and Renegade.
Thank you so much, Onset and Brian. Seattle, give it up for FaZe Clan as they faced up through this series. And what a series it was. Spartan, one of the craziest ones we've seen all day. You guys come out with a win in that oddball, but you find yourself in the trenches and then almost down 80 points in map number 4. What was going through your head in that moment?
I mean, Street Slayers, whatever. Like, they're honestly, that's like a really good game type for them with the way that they play. Bizarre Flag is actually, I think, statistically their best game type. I mean, when I was still on the team, it was our best game type. So, I mean, it wasn't too surprising. And, you know, I just looked over at my teammates after the game and I just said, like, dude, just one game at a fucking time, dude.
Yeah,
one game at a time, dude. And then, you know, Live Fire Stronghold is one of their best game types too. But, you know, we came out, did what we want to do. Game 5, close that shit out.
Yeah, and in Game 5, man, it was pressure back and forth, back and forth. Talk to me about what it was in those final few kills that you guys had to get.
I mean, John was getting loud. That was hyping me up. I was kind of shitting on them, 19-9, you know. I had to go hard Game 5. You know, going into Game 5, I just thought in the back of my head, you know, I got to win the Game 5 that Ascend couldn't. You know, hey. You know, no, I hope you guys don't take that the wrong way. That was for Ascend.
All right, so pass this on over to Renegade. And Renegade, my next question, going forward, you guys got to play up against Native Red here in the quarterfinals. They reverse swept Cloud9, and you guys got to go up against them. How you feeling up against that matchup?
I mean, those are my boys. I'm glad they beat C9, but it's Worlds.
It's Worlds, baby! They ain't losing! That's going to do it for us on the stage. Desk, take it away.
It's Worlds, I'm not losing. That's the attitude you want to have, and that's the attitude they brought into that series clearly, because my goodness, FaZe, they are here to play, and no matter how rough it gets out there on that ocean, they are sailing right through into a dub. And Gaskin, it was very impressive, and I think what was more impressive was seeing how they handled that pressure that E United put on, especially in that Game 5, where we thought it was really going in their favor one way or another, but FaZe managed to climb their way back, and that came down to a lot of control that maybe a lot of viewers might not have picked up on.
Yeah, you heard it during the listening, like all of E United were kind of backing off into their base a little bit, and FaZe, they weren't getting sucked in. They said, no, hold the map, control the map, don't get sucked in, don't get baited in, because if you walk into that trap and you lose one or two players, suddenly you lose the map. Even though in those very decisive moments, it's so easy to succumb to pressure, to succumb to nerves. FaZe, they held strong, they listened to their IGL. It was such an amazing series, an amazing Game 5 to watch, which realistically could have gone either way. I think everyone knows that, but it was how FaZe stayed so calm under the pressure.
They certainly did, and I think they do have a couple of tools in this toolbox to help them do that. And we kind of saw, you know, at times, you know, Renegade having a little bit of a lower statistic than most would have, you know, halfway through this Slayer. But what I picked up on Tony, why we, you know, highlighted him earlier on as a superstar, is because he gets a crucial double kill that really does free up the space for his team to be able to collapse on the remaining and then gain that control of the map, like Dan is saying here. Renegade was a huge part of that puzzle, but so is Spartan. What did you make of their gameplay?
I mean, like Renegade said, we're in Worlds. This is it. This is what you've been practicing for. I got the chance to see Renegade's mother, how proud she was when the camera went to her after that big one. She said that she was going to cry just because he was signing autographs, but now I know she's going to cry after this one. That was a big win by FaZe, but the job is not yet done.
The job is certainly not done yet. You can see there the damage Walshy coming across from Spartan. He did say in one way or another that he was doing pretty well against E United up in that Slayer, but 26,000 damage coming across from Spartan. That's what you want out of a Game 5 pro player.
Yeah, he was just playing so well, and what stood out to me was the concentrated aggression even towards the end. Even times where the game slowed down, he would back off, but then he'd see those openings and he'd just charge right through. Even in a moment when it's like 42-42, he still has the aptitude to charge through when they have the advantage.
Yeah, indeed. And I've got to say, on both sides of the coin here, FaZe looking great, going through the winners bracket. They'll be in a semi-final. E United is not over yet. They're going to be in the elimination bracket. What are you picking up upon here? We've kind of seen the same situation happen now, day one into day two. Can't quite find their feet when it matters most. What kind of advice would you be giving E United here?
I think the good thing for E United is it was very close, right? A couple of kills and it could have gone in their favor. If they can play in that same way, just find that little clutch moment in the elimination bracket, no reason why they can't come back, why they can't find themselves in the latter stages of this tournament. They've shown that they have everything. They've shown that they've got the skill, they've got the technique, they've got the strategy as well, but sometimes it's just implementing it in those final moments. It was what we were talking about before the series started, right? Is there a plan B and C after plan A? And it just seemed like FaZe had the extra little bit of a playbook on them.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call that an upset, although many players will be upset after the result of that one. But an upset did occur during this main stage match. And that was Native Red showing up at the World Championships and taking down Cloud9. And just to give you some context here, folks, Cloud9 being one of the most dominant teams we have had here this season, dominating the first half of the season, coming forward here, and Native Red struggling all season long to find their feet. Tony find themselves now up against Cloud9, pushing them down to the elim bracket. Now they're going on into the winners bracket. What do you make of this team?
Who came to new?
You know, some people at home, they look at the names and they think names are what wins championship. They think names are what wins series. No, performance does. Native Red came in knowing that they could win, knowing that all they have to do is execute their game plan, keep that aggression going, keep their opponents playing off of their back foot. That's exactly what they did, and they took on what at one time was about to be a dynasty in Cloud9. Big win for Native Red.
A huge win, and it's not often looking at the stats there that you see Cloud9 being outslayed like that. The fact that it was so significantly worse than Native Red tells me everything I need to know. You know, Native Red being able to win their 1v1s, being able to win their gunfights, the control that they would have had to be able to take down Cloud9, because Walshy, Cloud9 are such a good and strong team in terms of teamwork and their presence on a map. Native Red would have had to have done it all in order to take them down.
Yeah, you covered it perfectly. When it comes to slaying, we sometimes highlight objective efficiency, but slaying where this is at, 90% of the time, the team that's out slaying is winning the game.
Yeah, 100%. It does come down to small little factors, and slays are definitely one of them. You can see right now our winners bracket on your screen. Native Red will meet FaZe Clan, and this is going to be another true test. But I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling pretty good about this, considering what they did to Cloud9.
And then you look at that elimination bracket, and it's suddenly got a lot harder for everyone down there, because Cloud9, who have never been outside of a grand final this season, are now going to absolutely have to try and smash every single piece of that bracket to get there once more. It means it's a Cloud9 versus Ascend matchup, an E United versus J-Lings matchup having in bottom of the bracket. This is going to be some crazy matches.
It's going to be some very, very crazy matches. I can't wait to see them all unfold. And luckily, we have a whole rest of the day to get through. But folks, we're going to actually head to a quick break right now. And my goodness me, it was our closest game of the day. Both teams giving it everything they've got to continue their winners bracket run. But ultimately, we find that FaZe close it out and will find themselves in the semi-finals. Up next, though, we have an elimination round. Native Red versus Ascend. Someone is going home, and it's coming up next.
I got you under my skin. I got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin.
I can grab point, I don't care.
No more Needler, cause we stole it. It's the Feedler. Worms control it. Locked and loaded, just pull it. Let us wriggle down it. Golly. Welcome to our land. Sorry that you're here. But it's better in here, yeah, it's fun in here. Golly.
At Lovesac, we design furniture for life. Real life. Messy life. Life that changes and brings us together for movie night. A life where batteries run down and get charged up again. Because now, Lovesac Sactionals can be upgraded with stealth tech. and immersive surround sound by Harman Kardon hidden inside. Upgradable, washable, and guaranteed for life. Don't just hear it, feel it at a Lovesac showroom near you.
We don't have to get on. Unless you guys want to. I mean... No, I know, but... I guess it's smarter just to grab one, man. You're right. All we have to do is sit on it. We get a contest. Good job. Good job. Fuck you, Toasty. Good job, guys.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering purpose and belonging well earned. Fighting and winning for our nation and its people. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment is visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis. Always faithful. Always Marine.
I just forgot. I was eating popcorn. And on the...
So God, I'll be back.
My name's Dylan, I'm never on the point. You're the best Twitch streamer out there.
Welcome back to Seattle, Washington, the home of Halo and the very location where we'll be crowning our world champions by the end of the weekend. The Seattle Convention Center is buzzing with Halo fans who've traveled near and far to be here. And my desk is also home to 3 Halo experts who will also be sharing their analysis with me on our next matchup. But, gents, before we do get into our next main stage action, I do want to remind everyone that if you are in this arena, there are a ton of booths that you can go and pick up merch from right now. All of our Halo partner teams merch, they are absolutely gorgeous. Blaze actually caught up with the Sentinels booth to find out what they have up with us. So I'm very interested to know exactly what these designs look like. I think we had a sneak peek in Orlando, so you guys know exactly where your money's going to be going this weekend. I'm very excited to see what the Sentinels have on offer. So Blaze, it's over to you.
All right, everybody, I'm back here adventuring throughout HCS Seattle. And guess what? It's a hail to the Kings out there. Sentinels winning games on the main stage. We're over here at the Sentinels booth to see how can we be like Kings, especially here at the Halo World Championship. Now make sure you guys come through, get some of the merch. We got the hats, we got the shirts, we got the hoodies, and we got the keychains as well. And we got the Sentinels rep, Lady Hexer, in the building. Now what you guys got going on over here at the booth?
So we have a really cool setup with our 3D printed VR assault rifle and pistol on the table over there. We just started selling our Halo collab merchandise on the 17th. So this past Monday, as you just saw, we have the hoodie with the energy sword or the Synergy sword, and then our Hail to the Kings icon tee. So they're available here right now. You can also purchase them online if you're not able to make it to the show. And yeah, we're just here to enjoy some Halo. Hopefully take the trophy.
Hopefully the Kings can take home another trophy.
Wait, we got back up.
If you're a fan of them, make sure you're cheering for them in the chat and cheering for them in the event as well. And come by and step to the Sentinels booth and give a hail to the Kings.
They got spawns.
Thank you so much, Blaze. He's just out and about on the floor, checking everything out. I hope he's getting some free merch though as well. He's putting, he's doing God's work out here. Spending a lot of time.
He'll be trying.
Sure, yeah,
he'll be trying.
100% will be trying. But the merch looks so good to make sure you guys, if you are in the arena and you are a fan of any of our HCS partner teams merch, it's all available now. Well, folks, let's actually take a look at the KD leaderboard. I want to know who is slaying today because we do have some very good pro players on this board. Trippy, though, I am actually not surprised. He was the leader yesterday with a 1.4. It's gone down by literally like a 0.03. No big deal at all, but my goodness me, still leading the way. Onset, what are you making of this leaderboard? I can see you umming and ahhing.
My boy Snipe drone up there, looking all pretty with his curly hair. Look at that. Stroking his, I don't know if he's got a beard going on, but certainly stroking the chin and looking at that 1.24 and being very happy with it. But I think the takeaway from this is Trippy's the outstanding one, right? He's the outlier. Everyone else incredibly close, 3, 4, 5, all 1.24, but Trippy, he's a man on his own at the moment.
What's standing out to me is we're seeing 3/4 of the Optic squad with the top 5 on the leaderboard, and that's what we're expecting. The champions of HCS Orlando looking true to form so far at the Halo World Championships, and Trippy leading the way.
Indeed, and I gotta say as well, we've got Sentinels up there too, and Tony Snakebite was number 5 yesterday, and he has climbed the ranks up, so really good growth from the Sentinels roster, but I gotta say an unusual one to see there as the all-rounder for Sen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy about that. You're IGL, who's sitting there making play calls, who's being that leading damage dealer, and also staying alive and getting those kills. Is there anything this man can't do?
That is very true. I gotta say, I agree with you though on set. It is pretty damn exciting to see the purple up there, to see Ascend up there, because they got to put in some work a little bit later on. I can't wait to see that one go down too. But what is happening on the main stage very shortly is Fnatic versus G1. I don't know what I said going into the break. I was making stuff up, but I tell you what, I 100% know for sure it is Fnatic versus G1 now. And my goodness me, Fnatic, they have had a roller coaster this weekend. It has been insane. Our play-in bracket team, who are still alive right now, but they're going to be going up against G1, and this is going to be tough. Goofy, what do you want to see out of Fnatic in terms of how they perform this weekend? How can they now upset another team further?
I know Tony's been talking about them all weekend long. Fnatic, the addition of Arctic, really changing the outcome of this team, and they have this new identity, they have this new energy about them, and they're rolling right now. On the other side, G1, a tough loss to start the day against Optic, going down to that 3-0 sweep. So if there's ever a time for a team like Fnatic to make a statement and come out and surprise us, it can be right now.
Yeah, I got to say as well with G1 onset losing to Optic, what did their gameplay tell you from that series in terms of what to expect from this roster right now?
I feel like G1, we have a lot of expectation on them, right? We'll kind of look at them maybe as that next team to break through into a top 4, maybe even, in the future look to get to a final. But my worry for G1 is they still come up short in the big series, whether it's Optic, whether it's Cloud9, whoever it might be. Since we've seen this roster come together, they just haven't had enough to get over that line. I expect them to be very difficult to beat here against Fnatic, and I think they will bounce back. However, I'm always looking forward for G1 because we have those expectations now. We saw what they did in the NA Super. Can they recreate that form now because they're in a position where they have to?
Now, Tony, on the flip side to that, what makes G1 so dangerous at the best of times?
It's the teamwork. it comes in who's playing the starting lineup, to their coach, to they call him the sixth man, Mikowski, who sits there as one of the co-owners, even Kenny, who's out there in the film watching hours upon hours of film review with Swish. It's a family, it's the teamwork, and it's not just about who's playing, it's about who's coming in. They have all the support they need. I almost promise you Kenny probably came in and say, look, don't keep your heads hanging low after that game number 5. Come in, make a run through elimination bracket. We've been here before. We can do it again.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. I think the elimination bracket is there for a reason. I haven't said this one in a while, but it's the safety net of our bracket, and it is there to rebound and bounce right back up. Can G1 do it? Can Fnatic keep going on that tear? Many questions, many answers. Puckett and Walshy will hopefully be able to take us through those. Gents, it's over to you.
All right, Dave, you ready to answer some questions? I was not prepared for any sort of quiz. We need a larger notice for that.
Yeah, well, I got your Scantron ready, and I'm pretty sure you're going to answer this one correctly. G1 or Fnatic? Who's the stronger team?
G1.
Statistically.
G1.
G1. If Fnatic's going to pull off the upset, who's the one player to look at?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, when I look at that roster, they all are these individually skilled players, but they're not fully clicking the same way that they see these top teams do. Now, if you have to try to single someone out, I feel like I look at someone like Jazero. I mean, he was known for his free-for-all prowess in Halo 5, kind of got his rise individually there, and that's generally where has been like the scouting ground for Halo in history sense. Like, all right, who's individually super skilled, and then how do we turn that weapon into a 4v4 monster?
Looking at our best of 5 here, we got Livefire, King of the Hill to open things up. We go to Catalyst for Slayer, and Game 3 is on Oddball Streets. We got a little sample of that from G1 earlier, looking to clean up their game since they played Optic, but we're in the elimination bracket, right, Dave? I almost feel like anytime you drop down to the elimination bracket, it's a fresh start for everybody. It's win or go home.
Dude,
no
I didn't know
room for error here, and it's really just going to come down to who is going to set that tone early. When G1 was able to do that earlier, you saw them starting off, have some confidence. If they start off slow, they can get behind the 8 ball early.
Yeah, this is a terrifying spot because you said, yes, you're on a fresh start, but it's more of a pressure-inducing environment. This is a time where teams actually either start playing the way they're supposed to, or they start to crumble. Right? You see so many players maybe change up the play style a bit. Maybe they start to play a bit more reserved, and that can be really devastating for your roster if you're not using that play style. So when I look at both these squads, I see aggressive teams, and at some point one of them starts to take too much of a step back, that could come back to haunt.
Oh shit!
I heard a few people backstage already talking about G1's road. Yes, you
shut the fuck up, Mello. I shit on you.
Here, likely matching up with G2. That would be a battle for top 6, but you gotta beat 2 teams before you get there, Dave. And Fnatic is the first one up.
Yes, and what a road ahead of him. This is going to be tough for anyone who's trying to win the Halo World Championship, and it begins right here on the lower bracket run. G1 taking on Fnatic. We're going to kick it off here on Livefire.
And I like these stats. Jazero, a 1.4 coming into it. We will cut over to his screen shortly, but first, man doing a lot of damage in the matchup against Optic. Swish was my player to watch. He was constantly near the top when it came to the damage output for the squad.
Looking at the start though, G1, all 4 members down. Septify has the snipe, prepping for the Celeste, but has to watch his back. That garage spawn was not blocked, and Swish and Boo Boo Doo Boo are gonna take that weapon back in their hands.
You know, you don't always know where the spawns are. You think you're safe, you're setting up to watch that overshield, and now you've given the enemy team everything, Dave.
Also pay attention here, Puckett. Nobody has stepped inside the hill yet. What you generally see off the beginning of Livefire is one team opts to grab that hill early on, and the other one sets up for that OS, which spawns shortly after. But this one is just a brawl, Puckett. We're gonna see who comes out ahead with the slays.
I'm here for it, man. Let's go down to natural
talent.
And Boo Boo Doo Boo, he's had it since I first saw him back in 2016. The man, barely old enough to get beat, came out, played some Halo 1 with us in the hotel room. Love seeing that he's still here in Infinite. And if you're looking at the stats, he has been their star player for G1. On the other side, we're waiting to see who from Fnatic is going to show up on Saturday.
And looking at the Fnatic lineup thus far, suppressed with 5
if I had a better
kills
teammate
off the bat, but as I said before,
I didn't play with
we aren't really seeing either of these teams prioritize the hill until G1 as of recent. We're going to see if they can do anything with these last couple slays, but look at this. We're fighting over near mud. We're fighting near tower. We're fighting nowhere near this hill, and this entire time, G1 are just scrapping up points.
Everyone knows this first hill doesn't count, Dave. That one's just a myth. It's all about focusing on the kills and setting the tone. Get in your opponent's mind, then focus on the objective. Speaking of objective, 9 seconds till that next overshield, and Booba's gonna watch it with the sniper.
Yep, and this is a predictable spot to watch him snipe. You know, Suppress is gonna be challenged over towards that tower. Now, Suppress, he's not gonna jump up and clamber right away. He's jumping up and shooting just like that. That's the difference between these top pros and the players that you're playing with in matchmaking. They realize they have to take care of the threat before they can get the toys.
Yeah, you gotta shoot the guy in the face before you grab the goodies, and a green gun was waiting for him. Swish up top, nullifies that. Boo staying alive with the sniper rifle. It's gonna keep G1 in control. Already up 1-0 here in King of the Hill, and now they're starting to score on hill number 2.
Yeah, but it's just like you said, it's been G1 control pretty much this entire time. Even when they're trading kills or going slightly down in kills, G1 are in just a better position. Right there, Boo doing a great job catching Septify off guard here. And now Fnatic are in that same position before. Do they go back and fight this random kill over at green for someone weak? Or do they push across the map towards the objective, where they're at C-plat?
The fact that Boo was able to get a melee off before dying is just kind of another showing of what's happening to this Fnatic squad. Taking too much damage and putting yourself in rough positions. They gotta clean up the comms. Get them a little bit cleaner. Make sure you know where the fight is gonna be before you turn the corner.
Look at this. Pre-Devinator has his teammates just on the outskirts, watching this area. You saw Pre-Devinator looking back and forth over towards dummies, then towards elbow. Now realizing that they have dummies under control and he only had to worry about that one angle. This is just perfect positioning by the G1 roster. I don't think they have touched it as of yet. That little sliver you see right now, everyone's kind of giving that little sliver. It's like, here's your starting.
You can tap it.
Here's your starting sliver.
But you can't get it past 10%. Boo swapping it over now to his opponent. This is 0 from Fnatic, and we highlighted this player. You were picked up because of your raw talent. You gotta showcase it. He gets 2 clean shots at a melee, but the game says no.
Barely misses it. You need all 6 bullets to hit with that melee for it to count as a 2-shot beat-down kill. He misses 1 bullet, and he pays for it with his life.
Boo is able to turn this into another overshield. It feels like G1 always with a sniper, at least to look over the overshield if they're not picking up themselves. And Boo, well, he's got all the toys, Dave.
Boo had that OS, making most of it.
Do it again!
Doesn't need to zoom in! You have a zoom in button, Boo. Use it if you'd like, but I understand if you don't.
Come up close. The man's ready to inject you in the mouth. And we got 2 new spawners. There's the first. That one at the knee. Can't quite connect. Grenade's gonna land. Melee's gonna finish Arctic. Boo Doo just scared 2 players away, Dave.
And look at this. Anytime he's weak, just sitting off to the side, letting his teammates swoop in and finish. And this has just been such a dominating performance outside that first minute of traded kills. It's been G1 all the way.
We're nearing that 10%, but it doesn't matter. 3 hills now locked in for G1. Boo 12 kills, Swish 10. Everyone adding to the assists, especially Devin. He's been very busy this game, challenging for top damage for G1. And you look at the kill feed, Squall, Ishez, frying folks in the middle, Dave.
Yeah, and also as I look at the slays, like generally everyone's closer to even, but Boo is that standout player, killing everyone, like I said, on those outskirts. That's just such a smart position. Almost gets the insta off there. That would have been nasty by that overshield cylinder. Doesn't eventually get off, but what I was highlighting with Boo is he's doing such a great job slaying, and then anytime he's weak and his team has the hill, he's drawing opponents away from that objective. He's making them focus near tower, focus near green. It's just a smart position that he gets to flank and draw opponents away.
Arctic was in the power position as he's dropped. Suppressed has to run, and he's going to be met in the tunnel by Boo. Swish also in the kill feed makes it 3 down for Fnatic. So every chance you are Fnatic to start scoring, something going wrong, and it all starts with your key member getting taken down on defense.
And look at this, securing the OS, standing on top and saying, somebody shoot me. You can't do anything about it. As G1 are securing these last few points, it's going to be a clean 4-0 here on the first game, King of the Hill on Livefire.
G1 ain't going down yet, Dave. They still got a lot of fight left in them here at the Halo World Championships for Halo Infinite. And a strong showing from the man they needed to put up numbers, Boo Doo, the whole squad, putting up positive digits for Devinator. closes things out with a nice overshield hill control.
Yeah, 50% more kills than Fnatic. It was 48 kills total for G1 and 32 kills total for Fnatic. So when you have that much lane power across the map, they made such quick, effective, objective work.
Game 1, down. Still 2 to go if you're G1. On the other side, never count out this series until it's finally over. We just saw a reverse sweep over on our blue stage.
Yeah, before I'd be like, hey, this series is already shaping up to look like a G1 trample. But like you said, we're at the Halo World Championship.
Yep.
That is nobody's safe here. It doesn't matter if you're up 2-0. Even one of our biggest titans in the form of Cloud9 was taken out.
United, Cloud9, G1, Fnatic, all here in the elimination bracket. This one to decide who's moving on into our top 8 and who is going home.
Both teams understanding the gravity of the situation. Right now, G1 saying, let's keep this momentum rolling. Whereas Fnatic, along with their coach neighbor, is saying, all right, here's a chance to reset. Let's focus on game number 2, shake off that game.
Now, Dave, we're coming up into game 2, and it's on the newest map, Catalyst here, right? So this wasn't back at Raleigh. Our teams are getting better and better at it every single event, but when I watched this in the past, it seemed that this is a map that rewards some individual skill. You had a squad like E-United trying to run together. You were calling them out, maybe holding hands a little too tight. This map, you can get some new angles, and you can really pull off a 1v2 when you need to.
Yes, you have just so many escape routes here on Catalyst that yes, you can argue it's an individualistic map, like somebody can take an escape route and get away. However, the point I really like to highlight is you really need to be coordinated with your teammates to have those finishing angles. It's okay that you run and you're by yourself, but as long as you are aware across the map of how and when to support and how to get shots on players, that's the most important key on Catalyst.
Swish was brought down to almost no shield, still able to get away with the overshield. And you're going to see it's a 1-point advantage as Swish is hunting everybody now.
Not just that, Swish also is in a position to grab the skewer and opts just to take the guaranteed damage in the form of BR.
Yeah.
That's a triple kill here for Swish as he got the perfect flank to support his teammates.
You got to prioritize, right? Do you want to kill for that 50 number you're going for, or do you want the power weapons? And he knew with no shields, you got to clean them up first. Dev going to clean up number 5, and it is a 5-2 game. Fnatic still looking to establish some presence around the map, but Dave, you look at it, you got Septify and Arctic over here, and all the way across the map are the other 2 teammates.
That is rough. You need to find that joint position that you can meet up with your squad or get that supporting fire. So we're going to have to see how they react to this. That's just a slight miss for Devin here, and he's going to pay for it with his life.
Devin Boo Boo getting aggressive and getting punished. Fnatic rallying back. And we're going to jump on board with Septify. Tell me about this guy, Dave.
He is a sneaky, solid player. When I see Septify, he's just kind of always in that right spot, right time. Yes, all these players can be flashy when they get something like the shock rifle, but look at how he methodically moves across the map. He knows he has a teammate over there in the form of Suppressed, knows that there's one shot there, and gonna have to unfortunately back down as he knows the support is coming in for the G1 side.
And it feels like you're just kind of witnessing the pressure starting to get to Fnatic. That's a clean headshot for Septify almost 9 times out of 10. We're in trouble here, Dave.
And look at that reposition there. Septify knew that it's tempting to stay and try to get this long range fight against a one-shot, but it wasn't going to amount to a kill, so he repositioned, got over towards that pink ramp, and got a back smack.
Fnatic down 3. Overshield's popped. It's cleaned up by Fnatic. Devin over the top, tries to go for the stick. He's punished, and now Septify can run through his teammates. Double kill, looking for the triple. He's a nade away, but it looks like Switch is going to get his shield back and do all kinds of damage before the killing spree.
Incredible killing spree. Nothing incredibly flashy, but just smart movement that entire time. Even when it came to going through that corridor, dodging that grenade, keeping that extra overshield on his player, and then just decided to trade the melee out because overshield's gone anyways.
And that's been the difference maker. You saw G1 getting that first overshield. Septify doing a great job for Fnatic to control the power weapons. Let's go over to the green gun. Jazero's got the pea shooter, Dave, and he's got a grapple to close the ground. Nice cleanup there on Switch.
Just these fast rotations from Fnatic. We've seen it at the very beginning in the form of G1 charging through when we saw Swish flying behind these members of Fnatic. But now Fnatic are the ones that are saying, all right, we have some damage advantage, collapse in, charge on through. One of the beauties of Halo is you have these windows of opportunity when the other team has lower shield that you need to capitalize on. If you let them get those shields back, it's all for naught.
I think Zero had his Gringo now. It's making all kinds of noise. Before he can even get a line of sight, he's hit with grenades. You gotta think that your opponent has just the same equipment as you do.
I'm not going into Catalyst Corridor or into the movie theater with him because it's a little too loud. Please be quiet.
Fresh off the spawn.
I mean, I could have shot you.
You know they got nades coming out. Swish, sitting on 8 kills, just 4 deaths, has been the frag leader for this G1 squad, and he is moving around this map with 2 players in front, 2 to his right. We'll see how Swish positions himself. This is a tough fight. You gotta shoot your way out of it.
Getting those nice shots down and knows the West coming up, but Jazero is already there, flying in like Spider-Man, getting the double kill on Boo Boo Doo Boo, and still on the hunt, not satisfied just yet. Look at those preemptive nades coming from Squall, knowing that this pressure is coming in from this aggressive Fnatic roster.
And I got a favor to ask from our observers. Can we just stay on board with Fnatic for the next kills? I want to see how this team is playing together. We've been jumping around, seeing a lot of individual fights, but let's focus on the macro here, Dave. It looks like Jazero trying to set up with his man Suppress, who's calling out 2 players.
Look at that. I talked about him before. He's always in a smart position. Septify is the furthest one up, and he's not going to peek and get the knowledge first. Instead, he's going to wait for one of his teammates to lay down some fire, get some damage, and then get right up in the face of those G1 members.
There's the pinch. Jazero trying to get some help from Arctic over the shoulder, but the plasma does no damage, and Boo Boo says, thank you for my double.
Huge breakout there from G1. I really credit that more to a misplay by Fnatic.
Okay.
They had the great position in the front by the spike grenades to Septify. You need to just get eyes on that player and create that opening. Instead, they were worried about their own sides on the backside of the base. Trust in your flanker.
While you were talking, Dave, you saw another team fight go in favor of Fnatic. That's going to build their largest lead of this game, 6-point advantage. We're past the halfway mark. Energy Sword is up. You're not going to see that in action, but there's Overshield. That's what they're going to be fighting for.
They are prepping up for this OS in 25. Arctic kind of sniffed out there and is going to be out of this fight for the next 5 seconds as he's trying to get that shield back. Look at that sneaky play.
Yep.
How many times have we seen him been sneaky? Even right there, decides to use the grapple to get on out. Not successful in that scenario, but just great overall awareness of what's going on in the map. I'm continually impressed by Septify.
They're setting themselves up for success. Small issues are allowing G1 to stay in this game when they should have been punished. Taking a look at the map, though, G1 starting to stack up, and they're getting picked apart from across the map. Suppressed, doing a lot of that damage. Septified, now taking down Devin and Swish trying to answer back.
And that's so odd to see because generally the team that gets the Overshield to power up is the one in a powerful position. But in this case, Swish got a West. He's like, where are all my friends? Where did they go? They all got picked apart. And this Overshield is not giving them the advantage or the push that they would have liked to see.
They got 1 kill off of it, trying to find more. Jazero is hiding from above, but Boo Boo always here to clean up. That's his 7th. Looking for more. They got to back down from these grenades. The spawners are going to be loaded up with plenty. In G1, do you start to panic now, Dave? You're down 7. Your opponent needs just 16.
You definitely don't panic, but you need to figure out what's been going kind of continuously wrong here. What are your answers to these Fnatic pushes? Because what you're seeing off Fnatic is during those neutral scenarios, they're somehow able to sneak somebody into a tricky position, to a corridor. So in a neutral time, how are you clearing your corners? Why? And then another time when you have control, how are you going to charge? But how do you charge when you're continually on the back foot? What an impressive push by Arctic in the Fnatic roster.
This has been my favorite player to watch from Fnatic as well. He's only on 5 eliminations. He had 7 assists before that double kill. He's positioning himself to do the early damage and then dipping out before he can die. Another spike goes out, doesn't get the kill, but he's going to survive this, Dave.
Yep, surviving he is, but I feel like the G1 are on the hunt enough. What's up, but still, those precious few seconds that Arctic bought allows one of his teammates to do something else. Unfortunately, not trading that one up by Suppressed. Boo Boo just going in for that hit a little bit quicker.
Boo Boo's playing speedy, but he's run out of lives. Only 9 to go here for Fnatic. Suppressed, now up to 16 eliminations, trying to drop a 20 bomb here, Team Slayer.
Now, if any time is going to be G1's opportunity to like close this gap.
They're going outside.
And make it not just some miraculous ending. So we're seeing the story over and over again. I feel like every single time we see someone like Swish or teammates in a great position to grab an overshield or do some turn of events, teammates just fall, and they're not in strong positions.
While you're focusing on the objectives, the blue team is focusing on putting shots in you, and that is leading to multiple first deaths. There's another example. Arctic and Juice working together. J0 doing the damage from above. Switch is there late, but Dave, you can't keep trading out 2 for 1. 47 kills. Fnatic is just 3 away.
Yeah, you can't even trade out 3 for 1 at this point. This is looking dire for G1, and we're likely walking ourselves into a tied series.
2 kills away for your blue team. They're all in the same room. They're ready for the push. There's the first trade. There's the second. And we are out of here. 1-1 on the main stage.
That just looked incredibly different. From game 1, G1 felt like they were just running circles around the Fnatic roster. Whereas it came to game 2, every single time Fnatic got the right flanks. Anytime G1 tried to make a push, they had answers for them. They had 2 players ready from different angles. Just looked like a completely different roster here on the Fnatic side.
And I was looking at Devin's numbers. He had some nice damage, but he wasn't able to finish the kills. It looked like Fnatic just trading out a little bit more efficiently through this one. You look at Switch's assist, he could only get 3 off. He was supposed to be that closer, but so many times it was Fnatic getting that one-man advantage and setting themselves up for the future team fight. Breaking down the numbers, though, Septify, Jay dropping 16, 9, and 8 was my player to watch. Suppressed best his numbers at 18 and 11, Dave.
Yeah, just across the board, those 2 players dropping in 9.7. KDA helping lead this Fnatic roster to a much-needed tied series.
Great stuff here on the main stage, and if you missed game number 2, let's take a look back. It started fast and furious. We called out J0 needed to be a star slayer for the squad. It was Suppressed and Septify, though, that are stepping up to clean up his damage. And you'll see it time and time again. Fnatic was baiting, switching, and punishing Dave.
So well played there by Fnatic. So we're going to see if they can continue that the rest of the series. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, Team Slayer can really be played at your own pace when you don't have that objective constantly ticking against you.
Right.
You saw how Septify was able to navigate around unseen in multiple scenarios. Not going to be the same case on oddball streets. They are going to have to charge a lot faster. Maybe those little differences in a couple seconds can be the difference maker between a successful flank and somebody gets spotted out by a G1 player.
Dave, you and I have a combined 40 years of Halo esports history. I was doing the math before our cast. This is the best graphics I've seen yet. Well done to whoever's working behind the scenes. Let's jump into game number 3, though. Fnatic G1, we're in the elimination bracket. You win or you go home here. This is the swing game.
And both these rosters are vying for the Rockets. It's going to be Boo Boo with the Rockets. Trades out and Suppressed, and that ball is going to be grabbed. Debonair, the last one alive. What is he going to do in tires? He's going to get taken out. That's what's going to happen.
Now, of course, in oddball, you gotta hold that skull for 100 points. You do it twice, you win 2 rounds, you're moving on to the next game. Arctic on your screen, trying to flank in on this ball position. He's gonna go high while his teammates trying to pinch low, but it's not gonna work out for Fnatic. They're going a little bit too early, a little bit too alone.
And just look how much this map has evolved in the sense that Boo Boo gets shot from driveway. His first thought isn't this player's coming through driveway. His thought is that player's making the pizza jump and jumping up over on the commando balcony.
He's doing that jump. We've all failed about 30 times, maybe 3,000, depending how often you play. Suppressed on your screen. Here in the call-outs, he's the Punisher, right? He's got the Stalker, he's got the Bulldog. Power weapons here on the map streets.
Holding it over in Ivy, but still not certain if his angles are covered. So you can see that Fnatic still aren't certain of what areas are safe and what are not. And now that Arctic's down, you could see someone like Suppress wrap up a few seconds. Otherwise, the play might be to slay out, because what'll happen is if Fnatic die here, G1 will have their own tram setup.
Big push by Boo Boo, big 1v1 win. Now with the Stalker in hand, he can't put it down in time. Squall's on the flank though to clean it up, and you got Devin watching you from the balcony. This is the setup you wanted for G1.
Yep, and that's why you didn't see Arctic and crew scrapping up all that time over in Tram. They were more worried about a full setup. And I don't know if you know about Boo Boo. One thing he doesn't like is getting flanked. The second thing he doesn't like is palm trees.
Yeah, I hate those bushes in the sky. Rockets are up. You got your blue team Fnatic eyeing it. Devin gonna be the first distractor. Boo Boo gonna try and punish over his shoulder. Let's see who makes a move as the ball currently in the hands of G1. They're gonna give up map control as they focus on the objective here.
Yep, and now with 2 members down, they have to drop that ball and focus on Slays. Where is Boo Boo? These players know that he's sneaky and that he's somewhere near Tram, but they're not able to find him. Those are those key moments in time where when you have the numbers advantage, you need to find those last players standing to secure it. Otherwise, Boo Boo's gonna be able to buy time for his teammates to spawn and then continue the setup.
The fact that he is still alive, Dave, still tossing the ball to his teammates and keeping Fnatic on their heels. Boo Boo, he's only got 3 kills, but he is doing so much in this game.
Yep, and look at this reposition. He knows that this player is not going to quickly run around any corner at Tram, and so he tries to help his teammates over at B, but ultimately Arctic goes back to finish off Arctic. The battle he started, the battle he went back to finish.
You can't take that fight, my friend. Now when Boo Boo's playing this hot, no shield, finally going down after surviving for 2 full minutes.
Not even just surviving 2 full minutes there. At the very end, he gave his teammate Swish a nice, free, easy kill near the driveway. Boo Boo isn't trying to go out and fight some desperate 1v1. Instead, buying those extra seconds. Anytime you can let one of your teammates get first shot, it's a bonus. If you get your teammate first 3 shots, even better.
We've been tracking efficiency. That's the damage that's been converted into kills. These 2 teams pretty similar. G1 not impressed with their performance though against Optic Gaming. Looking at that number, it was glaringly obvious that they weren't able to finish the damage they started.
And now for the first time, we're also seeing this ball being rotated over towards the PD and A side of the map. So most of the time we've been seeing it over at Tram. Let's see if this plays out better in Fnatic's position, because every 2 times at Tram, we've seen G1 pulling with a significant lead. Do they play different from this side of the map? We'll find out.
Fnatic trying to set up in the back side of the map over at PD. Suppressed able to get the opening kill, and you see the ball
staircase,
carrier,
one staircase.
Squall's trying to run away. Big kills here by Boo Boo and Squall, but a cleanup opportunity from Arctic. Could have gone for the triple kill instead. Just 1 kill, and he's not getting away with this ball alive.
No, he's not. Both these teams vying for control towards back tower. Not only will you be rewarded with the ball, you'll also be blocking spawns and having your teammates spawn in a more advantageous position. So look at this Fnatic with their first real setup. They know these players are spawning over on Tram side. How long do they extend this? They started with a setup around the 20-point mark. Can they catch up? One good step on ball streets can hold long, but this feels like it's an over-rotation here, Puckett. Right here.
They think someone is to their right. They think someone is so close on that tower.
There's no need to push over towards a tower if the ball's all the way at driveway. So this was a overextension and rotation from the Fnatic roster. 2-0 finally joining the fight, and yes, the kills are against G1, but that was risky.
Juicy's able to stay alive. All kinds of grenades coming his way. The explosions left, right, and center. As Boo Boo is going to clear the path to the oddball once again. Fnatic's got to break in a new direction.
I like that back down over from driveway to go reposition at stairs, but you could see the confusion here from Jazero in a couple situations. One, holding back a tower during the rotation, and then secondly, even considering tossing that ball over towards B Street. Not understanding that there were many members of G1, in fact, 3 or 4 members of G1 over that B Street. If he had all that information, in retrospect, he would rotate that ball into Tram.
We need more info, boys. Somebody's got to step up the comms. The scouts are out, and it's Fnatic able to convert the kills here, Dave. So rockets were up. This is the second rocket in a row we see for Zero, but it's not converted into much. Ball rotating once again, but it's gonna run right into G1.
Yep, gets a good trade, and right there, Arctic clearing the path for his ball carrier, but nobody alive from the Fnatic roster needs to back down and fight another day. What a nice grenade right there. I'm not sure who laid that one over towards the B Street, but Arctic took great advantage of it.
Swish, the man on your screen, was the reason that Fnatic wasn't able to get away with that previous oddball, but now he finds himself in a 1v3 chasing after the objective. Able to clean up Septify, so now we've got 2 left in front of him. And Swish He just needs a little bit of help here. Start with the first 2 shots, get your teammate to push in and trade out.
We have ourselves a 1-second game.
You guys were talking a lot of shit before.
Just vying for slays. Whoever's able to walk away with these kills can get these last seconds and win. And that's going to be G1 picking up, getting the 55-second mark. And Septify, last one alive, gets to try to grab the ball. Not able to get it. Boo Boo just looks on over and says, a win's a win. Doesn't matter if we win 100-0 or 55-54.
We'll take a 1-point difference.
One's going towards B.
As it's G1, the first on the board here in Oddball.
Neck on neck in time. And I'm looking at our Prowler 200 stats. 44 kills for G1 and 46 kills for Fnatic. So technically, Fnatic slightly outslayed there and still lost by 1 second.
Why not beam him?
Setting up by Neon. Meanwhile, rockets are used. That's the double going down on the opposite side. We got Boo Boo back at Tram with the Stalker rifle. Dave, I feel like this guy just swims here.
That's the same guy.
I mean, he's got a Metro pass, the monthly pass going on over here. Just always finding something there. Gets that nice trade in that situation, but you gotta wonder, should he be fighting on that side of the map when his team doesn't have a control? When Boo Boo has a flank like that, and his team has ball control, that's fine. When his team doesn't, he's in fact spun them all the way over at Tram. Sure, you know you get a good bonus from your monthly membership, but don't bring us all in on that.
It's only good for one, son. Septify running away with this oddball. Squall trying to put a little bit of pressure on Fnatic before they get set up. It's just 2-0 and Septify here, and that was a perfectly timed push from your red squad.
No, I was just
push,
saying, like,
a great ball play attempt, but did not toss the ball out towards the Rockets like he intended. So this is now going to be G1's turn to set up with the ball near PD. Now this is the fine time. We were talking before about Boo Boo being in Tram. Why is it fine now? Because he can be a huge nuisance over towards the balcony with a Stalker rifle while his team steps across the map. And Fnatic have to choose, do they charge ball or do they take care of the threat behind them? Free Debonair laying out so much damage there towards back A. Can someone clean it up?
Yeah.
Septify is just staying alive though.
Switch is saying thank you, sir. Devin doing the damage, doing the distraction work. And Switch was able to stop that oddball. So not much needed for G1 to put an end to Fnatic's run there. Fnatic not done yet, but they're not picking up any time, Dave. And last round, they simply ran out of it.
They did run out of time last time. We see now a couple kills on the board. Fnatic have a 2v4 scenario. These members of G1 are pushing fast enough, so they're not going to get those PD or back A spawns. So this should be a quick, easy cleanup. But I actually like this play. That was pretty clever. These members of Fnatic, instead of just trying to hold back A tower until they die, they rotate over towards Neon. See if they can pick off any members of G1 and reconvene with their teammates who are spawning at Tram.
Well, Panic Melee is going to cost Dev.
From times where I've been seeing lackluster or bad pushes or rotations from Fnatic, right there was such a fantastic rotation. They went from a down 2v4 scenario
behind us,
and gained all the kills and getting ball back in their hands.
All right, let's talk about this play from Arctic Dame. What is the setup Fnatic's looking for here? You got the ball on the opposite side. Pressure is coming from the rocket spawn.
They're just looking to rotate this on over towards Tram, and this was a great rotation. You need to be able to kill any of those players that are flanking through, and so Arctic's job in that case was to deal with the stairs. Deal with stairs, deal with anyone going towards tires from the jump up. But yeah, Arctic did that fantastic.
Ball is down, he's baiting it here with the Bulldog jumping out to finish the kills down low. Can't quite get Swish. And again, Swish battling for his life is finally cleaned up, but the ball has been scooped up by G1. Your score, 30 and counting to 71 here for Fnatic. This round 2, definitely different from our first.
Yeah, different roster here kind of showing up in this case. I mean, they're outslain by 6 kills in the second half of the second round. But the score differential is much larger. We've seen not messed up rotations. I think the part I want to highlight. Yeah, rotations from Fnatic. I feel like we saw some rough ones in round 1. However, round 2 has been great. And in addition to that, I feel like Boo Boo has arguably been anchoring at the wrong times.
Yeah, the flanks from G1 aren't paying off like they did in that first game.
Yep.
Devin, pole dancing, eliminated, suppressed. Gonna do the damage there. Just 0 though. Topping the kill feed, and here is why. Look at his gun skill. He's going to trade this one out against the top fragger, Boo Boo Doo.
I also love from Zero, he jumped from that commando balcony over towards the back of Tram so that anyone that potentially was waiting back there would not hear his footsteps and would be surprised a little bit more. You lose the advantage of sometimes that first shot in your predictable path, but sometimes you gain that sneaky advantage, that stealth advantage.
Dave, this is feeling like Chill Out from Halo 1. It is getting scrappy. Players are coming at you from every entrance possible. It's going to come down to the frags at the end. And Fnatic, they are in the feed. 3 versus 3, ball down, and that's a big one from Squall.
Big one from a Squall, but I also gotta hand it to Fnatic there. Just Zero was doing such a good job just dropping and slaying. Where we'd seen mistakes before in round number 1, he made the right choice. It did pay off due to execution being outnumbered, but regardless, the right decision was made.
You're making the right choices. And that's leading to a lot more team fights going to the way of Fnatic here in game 2. Squall surviving as the pressure is coming up Neon. And this G1 team finally has the setup they were looking for.
And now they have to decide, do they want to hold this over towards back 8? They're going to rotate towards Tram. They're hoping their teammates spawn over at Tram. Now that they're down in numbers. And these players are taken out one by one. Looks like Septify is going to grab that ball and say, no, thank you. Let's bring this back over towards A. 88 points on the board, and they are inching closer to victory.
Everyone's spawning up on the other side of the map. You just got to survive for 5 more points if you're Septify, and we are going to a round 3, Dave. No grenades in time. Fnatic clutch it up in this second round, and you look at the numbers. We've got Jazero wide awake, 29 kills, looking for the first 30 bomb of the lobby.
He is absolutely destroying, so even though we were critical earlier of some decision making, we just do that because we know what he's capable of, and we got to call out when some makes a mistake here on the Halo World Championship stage.
They clutched up in Slayer, now a chance to run back Oddball after dropping the opening round. G1 though, still putting pressure on your blue squad. Fnatic gets away with the rockets, they're looping around. They've got the Oddball, they just know Boo Boo is somewhere lurking.
Yes, and unfortunately, Suppressed is not in that great a position. He has a death screen on him, but that's a bit surprising, kind of unaware of which side they're going to come from. Generally, a Rocket player should at least be able to trade, especially when they're running into your line of sight.
I guess props to G1 for keeping them guessing that long. I don't know who to credit for the chaos,
I mean,
but I
would assume there was a death screen on that player, and if they saw him turn the other way, they could shoot that Rocket player in the back and then get the other hands.
Taking a look at your assist, you can see all of G1 starting to work together. On the opposite side, Jazero 31 with just 8 assists has been a one-man army when needed. He's pitched between 2 players trying to trade out with Swish, but it's another double for the man in red. Swish showing up big here at the end of this game.
That was a huge play by Swish, but I gotta worry a little bit here for the Fnatic roster because this is looking more like round number 1 where it's just this trading of slaying and lackluster plays from Fnatic. So I actually want to go to an Astro listen with Fnatic to see how they're going to coordinate these next pushes.
Take a ball to.
Yep, I see, bro.
Watch
your driver. Be stairs, one driver as well. On your
Last 2 feet.
Watch out, B-Row. Watch out, There's 2, bro. Watch out garbage, bro.
5 seconds.
They're going away garbage right now. Let's look for these rockets. Let's live for these rockets.
Someone get heaven, maybe?
I'm
They're gonna bait benches with the rockets.
They are.
Watch out, mid.
Wait, you left.
Coming out of that listen in, your score 5-22. Not a ton of points, Dave. The kills, everyone's still trying to position around the map, and it looks like we're gonna have to pull out of this one for a moment as we lost a 4th player from G1. But you gotta look at this Fnatic squad and just think, this is the team with momentum now. You won game 2 after that game 1 loss. You lose the opening round, but then you come battling back in that second round, and then that third round, I felt like your positioning was way stronger than what we've seen in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, even though they were getting a little outslayed at the early bouts of round number 3, there wasn't a bunch of time being racked up from G1. They didn't have this impenetrable setup or anything like that. Instead, it was just kind of traded back and forth slays, a little in favor of G1, and Fnatic still hanging on there. But we know what they're capable of. We've seen how many times they've just shot up in slaves. We saw Jazero dropping over 30 kills so far throughout that game. They're on fire. Fnatic is scary, and this is a position I don't think we expected to see G1 in.
And can you kind of tell me, we have some of the players with headsets off, so we're going to just talk macro level here. Yeah. Talk to me about these game threes, these swing games, Dave, because being able to battle back in a game 2 and tie things up, I feel like that's the first step of success, right? How important, though, is this game 3? Do you worry about it knowing that you got an extra life afterwards, or is this a must-win scenario?
I mean, I always look at it as momentum-based back when I used to compete. However, when it's this day and age, these teams and players are so good, they have such stronger mental games that you really see these teams, even when they're down 0-2, as we saw with Native Red, being able to come back against someone like Cloud9. So that momentum thing does hold true, but I don't feel like it has the same sort of effect as it did back in the day. These players are a lot bit more stoic. They know how to reset after each game and then go into a fresh new game, understand the gravity of the situation.
And as you're looking at this Fnatic squad, we see a lot of talent across the team, different maps fitting their playstyle better. We definitely saw some strong performances on Catalyst, but how would you describe this squad? Because a lot of people, they're sleeping on Fnatic in the chat right now. They're saying, come on, G1, this should be over already.
They're strong, but I mean, the thing about Fnatic is they haven't been that massive threat throughout the season to contend for like a top 3, top 4 spot. Whereas G1 has been that threat. They've always continually been on that cusp. They've been able to take some of those strong series against those top rosters. You know, they even saw last tournament in Orlando where G1 took Sentinels to game number 5, losing 50-49. We don't really see that as much out of Fnatic when it comes against those other top rosters. So yes, they're solid, but they do have some flaws in their gameplay. We saw it even throughout that oddball game, just some basic fundamentals of rotating the ball.
Right.
How are you supporting that ball carrier? Which direction are you rotating it? There's definitely some lackluster objective strats there from Fnatic. But sometimes it gets masked just by how great their skill is.
The skill bails you out. It's always been there.
Yeah, and that's always been one of the beautiful and maybe aggravating parts of Halo. Is like sometimes you can do every decision right, but that person across from you has a better shot. Doesn't matter. They can just outshoot you and win that situation.
I know there's one man who is co-streaming today. I want to give a big shout out to your former teammate from Team Carbonated, talking about his return next year. I know a lot of people in his chat are watching the man, and that was a guy who I felt like if you were writing down all of his decisions, I would say 7 of the 10 were wrong. But because he was doing it, you never knew where he was coming from, and he turned those into kills.
I would say that early on, Nated, that I would kind of agree that maybe he wasn't at the right place at the right time, but he had such a significant amount of skill. But later on, Nated, which tends to be the course of many Halo players, he got to be that much stronger objective player. He knew his position, knew that teamwork. And that's just like the circle of life or the cycle of life in Halo, where you go through, you start to come through and you're like, I have an amazing shot, I'm the greatest. And then you start to realize, oh wait, here's this greater macro picture of Halo. Here's what I can do and how it can be more effective, whether it's doing less damage, whether it's being in a stronger position, whether it's knowing how and when to rotate an objective.
There you go. Much love to Nated. I was talking about Perfect Storm Nated, not the new one that you guys watch these days. Let's take a look, though, at our settings, because we're going to be loading this up once again. We're going to go into a final round of Oddball, and the stats here, that's how it's going to work out, right? G1 was in the lead 17-0 of that game 3 when a player lagged out. So we're going to start it up with G1 needing just 83 points. Fnatic needs to win the round to win this game.
Got it. So that is going to be a nice little comfort zone for G1, but in reality, 17 points isn't this massive buffer. Yeah. It kind of is like a small neutral time where you're holding the ball. It's not like this full-on setup. So G1 still needs to put so much work in, and they're going this round thinking that. They're not saying, hey, we have this massive buffer. Let's just lay off the gas. It's gonna be fine.
And if you're kind of remembering how this last round opened up, it was your red team, G1, getting away with that oddball. They got those 17 seconds, but the blue team, they prioritized the rockets. I want to see, as we restart this, is it the same opening strat? Are we gonna have some new spawns? How is it all gonna play out? Chat, let us know. Who are you feeling in the swing game? Is it G1 or is it Fnatic? I feel an upset brewing, Dave. I don't know why, but the seeds are telling me go with the orange squad here.
It's tingling. It's out in the atmosphere here at Worlds thus far. We are not seeing this clean, crisp Worlds of These top teams guaranteed beating these lower seeds. Instead, it's just anyone's game. Who came out to play at the biggest tournament of the year?
I gotta give a shout out to my man Arctic, the best presentation of jewelry of any player. In the background images on the other side, the best mustache in the entire venue is on the face of Boo Boo Doo Boo. And he's ready to bring it in game. Arctic on your screen first from Fnatic. Reminder, your blue team needs 100 points. Your red team G1, just 83 to take game 3 here.
And looks like G1 off to a decent start. They get the ball. They got a couple slays, but they don't get the ball rotated all the way into Tram. In fact, Fnatic are one step ahead and are rotating into Tram. That's Boo Boo falling, Squall falling. And J0 and Suppressed are going to try to secure these last couple kills and see if they can get set up.
This could have been so much uglier in favor of Fnatic, but Swish hits a cross-map rocket that slows down their push.
This is actually great position here for Fnatic because they have control of Tram, the ball is on the stairs, and their spawning members are over towards B, and so they can get this crossfire going on. Unfortunately, Septify gets spotted out over on the B rail, so that additional angle that Fnatic needed was taken.
You didn't touch the ball on the stairs either, Dave, so it goes back to its initial spawn. And where's G1? They've got the objective, and they're pulling it to the opposite side of the map. So Fnatic, all that attempt of setting up, wasted, and your opponent is running away with the score. Keep in mind, they started with 17, already up to 34 unofficially on our clock.
And look at this Devonator just doing a great job spouting out these neons, calling out player, pushing towards driveway, and has this little trap set up. So he's just zooming in, waiting for somebody to go down the stairs and shoot those spike grenades to do damage to anyone running out Tram. However, you got to wonder if it's being a bit too passive. All these members of Fnatic have charged out Tram, and Devon's still holding that tight angle.
Running out of ammo is Devon. He's taking on 2 players, and it shouldn't be that close. Devon dishing out all kinds of damage, was topping the frag board for this G1 squad. We cut over to J0 though. He's got the ball, he's got the Bulldog, and he's got one player supporting him here on the stairs. At least he thought he did before Arctic went down.
And there it is, grabbing that ball time for a moment, but realizing that the rockets are a little more important. Great use of that drop shield, getting that damage on. And now with this numbers advantage, you should be able to see Fnatic secure these rockets, but they don't look under tires.
No.
That's a smart spot from that G1 player to hide under there. Devonator, successful flank.
And also Squall, he could have just charged around that corner, overcommitted on the slide. Instead, he gets the call out, backs up, and safely finishes the kill. That's a small little detail that tells me G1's comms are back on, Dave. They're dialed in.
They are calling out and reacting to everything appropriately. Squall trying to break behind enemy lines. Know that these players are damaged. Pushing on over towards A tower. Still not satisfied just yet. But
that can't happen.
The melee trade against Arctic. That is devastating. If you're going for that charge when you know shields, you better be ready to trade.
Arctic surviving. The rockets are missing. Everything going wrong here for G1 except the score. You look at the objective control. Fnatic hasn't been close to that on ball in what feels like a minute and a half.
They have not, and just looking to get that slaying prowess out there again. Fnatic had all 4 members down and an overkill for J0. The player who had 30+ kills before the reset is coming out strong here in this crucial replay round.
Montage makers, please mark your calendar there. It was about 2:37 on the clock when he picked up his overkill. We'll get it from his perspective after the game. J0, though, putting away the BR in favor of the objective. They know they need every second. Their opponent only needs to get to 83. Fnatic needs to get to 100, and they're starting to get surrounded again.
And J0 was rotating that ball towards PD, but you have to wonder if this is the correct rotation. Generally, if you're the ball carrier and you don't see somebody in front of you, you're probably going the wrong way.
Good rule of thumb. Take that into matchmaking with you tonight, kids. J0 staying alive, and after a minute is finally naded out. Septify trying to clean it up. Rockets are there. Suppressed wins the fight against Swish for him. And we got Rockets in favor of Fnatic, assuming Arctic can get away with them. Suppressed actually survived that somehow, and now is turning against G1.
That is 2 down for G1. The ball at its spawn. They know players are at Tram, and this is the perfect time to rotate it back towards A. Other way, buddy. Other way. I guess he's trusting
There's one on
Zero
each.
to clear it out, so you have to decide one way or the other, but Suppress decides to let the battles resolve themselves and then decide where to bring it later.
He's like,
Septify
I'm not taking any
off.
damage. No need to move, baby.
Zero also picked off. Now this ball is going to be stuck over on this side. You know the crunch is coming in from G1, and there goes 3 down for Fnatic. That goes to show sometimes that static ball location is not ideal. You're down in numbers. If you're just waiting out to see how those battles play out, the opposing team has a 4v3 against your teammates with guns out. That's why you try to be dynamic with the ball and move it around the map so that you can decide where you can have concentrated fights where numbers are at your advantage.
Slowly, this game coming back as we see Fnatic bringing it within 25. But only 30 points away now is G1. We look at our kill feed. It's your blue team who won that last team fight. They're able to escape the Neon for now, but you got to put this ball down and start fighting, Dave. Can't give up this first blood, and it's traded evenly.
Can't, and as a reminder, like we said, it's 1-1. Whoever wins this round goes on, and G1 have a 17-point buffer. So technically, G1's at 70 points right now and only need 30 more to close this round out.
Other side needs 55. Septify trying to chase down this oddball player up top, injured. Perfect shots, killing spree locked in. Fnatic heating up on the flank side. Zero started it with the overkill. Suppress now taking the lead at 11 limbs. And Septify with this ball has been shooting pure.
And this is a strong setup here in Tram. The key to this outside setup though is key to this Tram setup is these outside players. You notice how Suppress and Arctic are over towards B side. They're trying to create some room. This allows one, crossfire for anyone going up towards the C stairs. Secondly, it allows a ball rotation towards driveway if you ever need that out.
Enormous survival skills there by Zero getting away from Swish. Now he gives them the business with a little thrust. Ball is down bottom middle. And keep in mind, Fnatic lost Rocket, so I think there's still one Rocket floating out in the middle of the map for G1 potentially. Don't go for the ball, bait it out for a kill. That's the plan. Perfect execution. No, Swish gets around the corner.
Swish gets picked off by Arctic, but you saw Jazeera just waiting for somebody to dive onto that ball. Technically, Fnatic are in the lead at this moment, even with that buffer. So Boo Boo and crew are just trying to grab these last few seconds.
20 more seconds to go. They need to get to 83. Remember, that is the goal line here for G1. Fnatic needs 25 points.
Here it goes. Just 10 more points here for Boo Boo and the G1 squad.
They got
a time where you can hold it all the way back to Tram. I don't dislike this decision.
It's done, Dave. It's done. 82, 83. It's G1 with a 2-1 lead here on the main stage.
I also like that play from Boo Boo at the end to push over towards the driveway. Some people might cower in the back towards Tram, just saying, all right, we need to grab these last few seconds, and you can set yourselves up for a big reverse momentum position as they kill you and take over a full Tram test. Instead, Boo Boo's gonna bring out more in the open, just grab a few seconds, just to avoid any disastrous situation.
Much love to all 4 of these players representing G1, their coach Eli as well. But if I was gonna give an unofficial MVP, I'm looking at Swish. Selfless plays, jumping on the oddball, pushing in with no shield, trading out clutch kills when they needed him. And of course, Boo Boo. He loves the Tram setup, Dave.
He loves
He got it more often than not.
Boo Boo loves public transportation. That's another fact you don't know about the man.
Yeah, but carbon footprint, 0.
He loves holding down the area, but you could just see how often he's that anchor position. Always on that flank. Couple times, not the right exact time, but more often than not, he is doing such a great nuisance. You saw it there in game number 3 on Streets Oddball. You saw it incredibly successful in game number 1 on Live Fire King of the Hill. Are we gonna see any sort of successful flanks like that again from Boo Boo in game number 4 on Aquarius CTF?
I'm looking out at this crowd and the seats are starting to fill up. Seattle, how we feeling? That front row is waking up. We got more winners brackets still to come here on the main stage. But first, we got to finish this elimination battle. Who is going home? Who's moving on into our final 8?
This is going to be a devastating loss for Fnatic if they cannot clutch this up. Nobody wants to be going home at this point. You made it this far and you want to just continue playing and get another shot. at your legacy in the Halo World Championship.
Legendary coach Naver behind Fnatic. Eli, a man who had a position on midship named after him, coaching G1. But it's the 8 players in game that deserve all the credit for the win or the loss here, Dave. And Devin, he's trying to hand a big L to Fnatic. 1v2, and he's coming out clean with the killing spree.
Triple Carol also knows who the last member is, calls out to his teammates, and Suppress somehow fights his way out with that heat wave, taking out Devinator and Squall.
For Devinator, setting the tone for G1. You really just need that explosive play to open things up to get the rest of the squad rolling. But on the other side, you'll notice something. Suppressed, 0 deaths. He's on your screen. He's got the heat wave. Power weapon on this map for sure, Dave.
One thing I also noticed is on G1, nobody has the kill except for Devinator, who has 7 kills on the board. Doing everything his team needs just to keep this in a neutral position right now.
He's the cleanup man. They're dropping shields. He's cleaning them up. Swish, here's the call out that Septifies bottom middle. Can't get the bank from the heat wave. G0.
He knows to save him down there. He just knows it.
Is Swish keeping these shields down? Because those shots are worth it if he is.
I think I heard a little ping there during one of them, so I am not entirely certain, but I believe he would not be wasting shots unless he knew he had some chance of keeping the shields down.
Nice grenade from Suppress is going to buy a little bit of room for Fnatic. We got to remind folks, though, how Aquarius is going to work, Dave. These 1 kills being traded out, not a big deal. When does your team start to feel the pressure, though? Is it 2 down, 3 down? What's the danger scenario here on Aquarius?
2 danger scenarios as soon as your team starts to go 2 or 3 down and the team flies towards your base and starts to put that squeeze on. The second danger scenario is when teams start to play this different neutral style game where they don't care to hold down pink or car, and instead they opt to just push in towards your base for securing those kills. Those chaotic times are those are the 2 times that you can be at most risk for losing a flag cap.
The most successful grenades I've seen from Fnatic are the defensive ones, trying to stop players from pushing into the base. Great flank, 2v1, the pinch is there. Squall and Devin. Switch is gonna find a third. It's just G0 left, and this is a free flag cap.
Yeah, this one's gonna be too tough for G0 to stop. I mean, those players died way too close to that flag being pulled off, but wait, we saw Swish just fall. Squall took some damage. There, the flag goes in for a denominator, but that was a bit of damage, and Fnatic actually are in a decent position if they get 1 more kill to go for a counter cap of their own, but there is the stop to it as Squall had a nice flank, and Fnatic are just gonna have to settle for a 0-1 start and go back to the drawing board.
It's a bit of a skirmish. Both teams trying to lock down this left side of the map for Fnatic. Devin's gonna win the battle. Boo Boo there in support, and Suppressed and Arctic are gonna get pushed out. It's now G1's map with 3 down.
So many slaves across the board. It's now a 2v2 scenario. G0 and Arctic, the last one's over at their flag, but look at the positions from G1. They have been able to push all the way over towards the util on the side. Whereas Fnatic, they're all stuck in the base. So even if somebody gets weak here from G1, they have to fly out, just like they did right there, in order to even get the finish.
This is so impressive. The base defense, Dave. I feel like this is a football team that will give you 99 yards, but then hold you at the goal line. They have clutched up twice now for Fnatic when G1 is threatening their flag.
Yeah, just so many times there they haven't locked in the base, and it's impressive how Fnatic know when they have the damage and how they push out from there. So many teams generally crumble into that pressure. They either charge out preemptively and give up a free kill, or they never charge out and it's just a slow squeeze.
3 down, Camo's out, flag should be running. This is the first real attempt for Fnatic. Septify is gonna get this one clean. He's got a lead blocker. Suppressed gonna charge into the base first, and this should be a tie game.
Yeah, but I like that play by Suppress. Suppress doesn't actually go all the way into flag. He realized that they just need some damage across the top center of the map. So Suppress pushes on over towards top P or top car to give additional angles.
They knew the flag was going to get counter-pulled. There's been no touch, but still, it's all Fnatic in the feed until Squall answers back there.
Yep, and then once again, I saw in the kill feed, Suppress getting another kill over there. Sometimes teams, they turtle up too much as they bring that flag back and just put themselves in a position for a counter cap. And they don't have the additional angles to punish players from the opposing team, just charging out in the center of the map.
Counter cap opportunity. G0 is able to put that one in for Fnatic, but then 3 fell, and Swish trying to convert this into points. G1 will take the lead if they don't stop this flag. Fnatic, all kinds of shots, and Swish is back, but he's still got shield here, Dave.
Still got shield. Predeminator got that flanker. Predeminator also knows where G0 is at, but the damage has been done. G0 gets that second kill. It's going to be all to G0. He's the closest one to this flag. Squall A gets the touch, but luckily stays alive. So G0's in a really difficult spot. Does he charge up with this free death?
Right.
He looks like he's a little bit of a return on it, but right now he's just desperately waiting for his teammates to come back over and help him. He can only do so much as 1v1 against Boo Boo in the util.
G0 doing everything he could to stop that flag. And in the final moments, it should be going in. Arctic's there, both players with no shields, it's pulled out.
Flag gets tossed out, and Septify, rather than sitting back at the base recovery and says, I can go for this counter cap. They got 3 members of G1 down. They went for the desperate cap.
Returned. Not quite. It's getting chaotic here, Dave. Flags on both sides of the map.
Flags out on both sides. Predeminator needs to be focused just solely on in space at the moment. There's this ebb and flow during this time where both flags are out. If your team has too many members down, you need to work and focus solely on your own flag. It's too much of a risk to go out and try to counter recover.
So you can see the setup for G1. They're playing base defense first, then they'll push out. 5 minutes, 18 seconds left. You're tied up in this series. Do you agree with this decision, Dave?
I do, because they don't have the advantageous positions just yet. They can't just force their way out on 2 separate playing fields or battlefields over towards Car and towards Pink. Instead, let Fnatic overstep once. Let them give up a free kill and then go on the offensive once you have more information across the map.
Traded. Septify and Suppress trying to push in. Instead, that's 3
now
down.
G1 pushes out. This is the time where they can take over Pink and Car. Look at this, just trying to find any other flankers here.
Base is clear. Double checking before they push out. They're looking for one flanker. Devin's going to get the touch, but we should cut over to his teammates. Will they be able to get this return?
He's not just hiding the back of the face with the flag. Instead, he's just being up front and center on the plat and getting some damage out there. Look at this too by Arctic. Gets a touch, but gets surprised there. Boo Boo Doo Boo over on the recovery. Is anyone from Fnatic in position? No, they are not. They're going to have to go for a counter recovery of their own. Do they have anyone in position right now? It's Predeminator fighting against G0 in his own base.
What a play from G0. He's going to have a perfect nade as well, trying to touch the flag to keep his team in it. And instead, it's going to be flag number 2 scored by G1, up 2-1 with 4:04 to go.
And those are such swings during those standoffish times. You also sometimes aren't even surprised if it turns into a double cap, because generally if you're in a position at the opposing base to recover it, you're in a position to grab a brand new flag.
G0, man, I didn't know him coming into tonight. Big fan of what he brings to the table for Fnatic. Your blue squad's not out of it yet, Dave, but I feel like you need to counter a cap here. You need to answer back. Cannot slip 3 flags to 1.
But there's 3 down, and this is incredible. Septify is already on the flag, running at the safe route. Doesn't need to go the fastest route possible. Instead, runs it on over towards Car. And here comes the punishment from Fnatic. They're trying to look for any sneaky players. And there's Boo Boo, the first and furthest one up. Finds Predeminator over on the flag, gets that massive damage with a heat wave. And that should clear the path for a tie flag game.
And they're going to clear the base out as well. Arctic needs just one more bullet. The reversal is clean on Swish. And you're going to see Suppress was able to win the melee fight against Squad. So now the whole squad pushing forward 4-2.
But now you see 2 members down for G1. Once again, you saw these members of Fnatic pushing towards the flag and then run towards utility side. This time they aren't run towards util side. They realize there's too much strength there, and look at this down the center run.
Let's go.
Tries to hit that curb slide, not successful, but all in the moment's time. Over the course of 1 minute, we see Fnatic now in the lead.
Let's go Fnatic. They need a game 5. They were trailing for almost 7 minutes. Now with the advantage going into the final 2:30.
Looking at this flank though from G0, these members of Fnatic all charged across top, and they had 1 player down low. Look at this weird push from Swish. I appreciate the aggressiveness, but they didn't have a clear route as to where they're going to run that flag. And sometimes that panic sets in, or sometimes that unclarity sets in, and you say, well, we got to make a cap at some point. I'm already here at the base. I don't know of a better position to fight in.
Honestly, his grenade was perfect too. The Dynamo dropping players to no shield, but the cleanup is in there. Septify with the triple when you need it. Flags returned, and you're gonna see this Fnatic squad on the attack. Switch though with Camo, trying to play spoiler here with the heat wave behind enemy lines.
I don't hate this play. It doesn't seem like they're opting to push in the flag just yet. Septify get another kill on the kill feed, and here comes that slay from Switch. It's not a crucial kill. That's not what you want to trade out there, Puckett.
No, Camo, heat wave. You're looking for a one-shot scenario, and instead you get traded out.
All right, now watch how Fnatic are playing this compared to the previous minutes. Every so often before, you saw these Fnatic members charging in to the utility side, charging in on the G1 flag and pulling after a kill or two. Instead, they're kind of sitting more in these power positions, just worried about these slays. They realize the only chance G1 has is getting out of their base and getting a Fnatic flagpole. So why give them those extra yardage? Why spawn them over towards Fridge or Util?
Dave, Swish is still in single digits. Finally gonna find his 10th kill. But I was just looking at the numbers, and it seems there was a slaying battle that had turned in favor of Fnatic over the last 5 minutes. 38 seconds to go. If you're G1, if you want to avoid that Team Slayer Game 5, you got to clutch up here. You got to get a hand on a flag.
In theory, playing a bit more passive is the correct way to go, holding those power positions, but you got to wonder, what is Fnatic's playstyle? If they're used to aggressive playstyle and pushing into the opposing flag, you got to continue that up. Do not turtle up and give G1 a chance to get back in this game and get a flagpole.
12 seconds. That's all the time. If you're Fnatic, you just got to clear the base for 7.
Look at this.
5. No one but Devin to touch the flag, and he's going to get a pull. Can they keep it alive here, Dave? That was going to get down low.
Suppress the last one. Getting shots. They know there's one over near Fridge on their own flag. This is going so far here, but the flag is now in a vulnerable spot. Someone from G1 needs to be standing on to stop that pie chart from going down.
The pie is gone. No, Switch is going to touch it right before it disappears, and the return isn't in yet. Boo-Boo can't get to it. The Camo's on top. We're going to a Game 5.
Also, just the confidence there from Suppress saying, all for it out. I'm going to start looking over my teammates and celebrating. And that takes a lot of confidence and awareness of how Halo's going to work there, because if for some reason a grenade came flying in, some melee came flying in, and players are able to grab that flag, you cannot forgive yourself. You can't celebrate too early.
G1 trying to figure out a way to shake up the loss. Shake it off, move forward into a Game 5, start fresh. But if you're remembering what went down earlier in this series, it was kind of a one-sided affair when we went to Catalyst Team Slayer Game 2.
It was a one-sided affair in the favor of Fnatic. However, we are playing this time on live fire, and we saw how effective Boo Boo Doo was on that tower side and on those flanks. Can he translate that to a Slayer game? We'll see.
A Game 5 here on the main stage. And it looks like our players gonna need a moment before we kick off that final finale here in the elimination match. Who's going home? We find out next, but here as we look back across our series, a 4-0 to open the day for G1, looking so clean in that King of the Hill, but then it was Fnatic in that Game 2 that really showed me they're here to stay, Dave.
Yeah, not the series I would have expected based on that round number 1. So taking a quick look at some of these replays coming out of these squads, you saw nothing but Pre-Devinator coming out hot for this G1.
Killing spree.
Oh. This killing spree. He was the first and only 7 kills for G1 at the start of Aquarius CTF.
Devin setting the tone. G1 able to convert that into an early flag cap. They had the power-ups. They had the map control. But this Fnatic squad never went away. Suppressed, Septify, really showing up big in Games 3 and Game 4, but this G1 squad, they're the favorites coming in, and I think everyone right now in the chat is telling me they're still the favorites coming into that Game 5.
Yeah, one thing we've always talked about G1 is they're capable of beating those top rosters. They can crack into the top 2, top 3 like we've seen with the NA Super. However, one thing we haven't highlighted is saying, well, can they also still be beaten by these teams that are arguably more 9 through 12 teams or top 8 teams? And the answer I'm seeing is yes. Fnatic are coming out and showing that they are equals with G1 right now in the series.
4 games in the books. 1 more game to go. And as we look across this Fnatic lineup, Dave, I want to know, who would you give MVP of this CTF? And who are you looking at going back into another Team Slayer Game 5?
Ooh, I would say Fnatic MVP in that CTF. It's got to be Suppressed or Septify. You have to give so much credit to those players who are getting those flag runs started. Yep. The ones who are behind enemy lines doing so much work. There's so many times we weren't on Septify's POV. If I was looking at the kill feed, I saw a triple kill. Another time I'd see him get another kill. It's like, all right, this guy is clearly getting a lot of engagements and coming out ahead.
Suppressed and Septify leading the squad. As Fnatic ties up the series, we're sitting here at 2-2. We want to welcome everybody back in, live here from Seattle. Chris Bucket alongside Walshy, the GOAT. Dave, it is so awesome to be back at another Halo World Championship. What number is this for you? Did you do the math before the show?
I did not do the math. I mean, I am not one of those people that like kept every badge from every event. Like, I should go back and do the math and see how many events I've attended, you know, competing and casting.
3,012. That's the exact score if you're keeping track at home. Walshy's an old man just like me, but the young men on the main stage, they are playing for some serious cash. $1 million up for grabs here in our Halo World Championship.
And pretty much every single round you win, your prize pool doubles. That's just rough math for it, but especially for these early rounds, you know, you go from 5,000 to 10,000 to 25,000 for what your team's taking away. So just so much at stake for every team here. And especially when these two teams are on the line, you know how crucial this game number 5 is.
Yo, can we aim that camera down? Look at the bling on the Master Chief helmet. Devin, some of the freshest jewelry in the venue today. Predevinator was a hero in game number 3. Looking to turn it up again for G1 as we go into game number 5. The decider. Who's going home? Who's moving into the final 8? Still no one believing in Fnatic, chat. I don't know. I don't understand it. Have they not showed you enough? Suppress, Septify? They're here to stay.
There's no chance you can vote against these guys with pure confidence. Look at how well they've bounced back from the series. When you look at game number 1, you would not expect this series. A dominating 4-0 coming out of G1. But the rest of the series has been a complete different story. So this Fnatic roster, it's anyone's game here. We're talking game 5 here, live fire Slayer. 2 teams, one goes on and one goes home.
Last player is loading in. Seattle, are you enjoying some Halo this weekend? The action kicking off with a game 5 in just a few moments. Reminder, we are live across 4 different streams this week, and we got our community stage with voiceover artists and more, all stopping by to say what's up to the fans here in Seattle.
That's one of the beautiful parts about Halo. It's just so many different facets of the game. People get to participate through cosplay, through their fandom of Big Team Battle, campaign, the stories, even the music. I got the pleasure to talk to Marty O'Donnell today.
Marty's here?
Marty's here. I never met him in person, but
Marty!
It was great to shake his hand. Oh my God.
Can we get him in the middle real quick?
This is not planned, but this is perfect.
This is totally not planned. It's not good.
They said we can't get the shot framed up. No worries, no worries.
This is Marty O'Donnell, the legend behind the Halo soundtrack, the Halo music. He's here in the venue. Marty, use my mics. Say what's up to the people.
Hello, everybody. This is great. This is my first time at a competitive Halo event. So I don't know why I've never been to one before.
It took you about 20 years, but we're so pumped to have you with us, man, and you're next to the GOAT.
I knew about
He's heard about me.
All right. Marty, thank you so much. We'll catch up with you in a moment, my friend. Halo legends, you know we got another legend in the building. Stop on by, say what's up to him in the crowd. Everyone from 343, the old school folks, all coming out here to celebrate Halo's biggest event of the year.
Yeah, fun story about Marty. So everyone knows him as the composer and, you know, master behind a lot of the music that you know in Halo. But back when I was first with Gamers Outreach Charity, when one of the first events was canceled, when I heard about this through Zach Weigel, Marty O'Donnell actually wrote into the paper when they found out that this event got canceled. And solicited him even before knowing anything about like these events, but he basically said, hey, like, let the kids play this tournament. This is a fun event that got canceled. And so I have a lot of respect for Marty for that.
He's always been looking out for the Halo community.
Yes.
Much love to everyone who's been a part of the Halo franchise, from the lore to the stars from the esports world that are gracing our stage. We are celebrating Halo in every way here in Seattle this weekend. Game 5 of your lower bracket kicking off right here. This is the first round of elimination. This is what can set the tone for the rest of your weekend, Dave. If you can come out hot, set yourself up, everyone can make that lower bracket run.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the position where it's one game between you and elimination, so both these squads want to get themselves reset. They want to get one more win and then put themselves back on even footing in the elimination bracket. But like I said, this one is too tough to call, Puckett. Live Fire Slayer, we saw Slayer won by Fnatic earlier in game number 2. We saw Live Fire, King of the Hill, handily won by G1. Who's gonna take it when you combine those two worlds together? Live Fire on the map, Slayer on the game mode. We got Fnatic taking on G1, both their tournament lives at stake in the Halo World Championship.
I don't want to admit it, Dave, but I am feeling a Fnatic squad, and we're opening up with Jazero. Can they pull off the upset? Remember, G1 coming in with the number 7 seed to this event, playing for top 8 here.
And look at this, no real contestation here. Jazero has to know something's up, realizes that's either bait or doesn't realize that he may be getting flanked. So we're gonna see what happens here as this sniper still is untouched with the first 30 seconds of this game. And Overshield's also popping.
Yes, kills are being traded out, but it's in favor of your Fnatic squad. Septify doing the damage, picks up the double, looking for more. Players up top, and he's gonna get away with the overshield. No, it's on the ground, but his teammates there to scoop it.
Gets the overshield on the ground for Jazero, and you know he is going one direction only. That's forward. He is pushing in towards the garage, trying to put the hurt on these G1 members. Happy to get in a close range battle with the Predominator to get that melee trade.
Shots in his back, Jazero with the 360, repulsing his way to safety. You gotta love the movement of these pros. They've really figured this game out by now.
Yes, they are not getting snagged in any corners. You're not seeing many flags hitting the ceilings like we saw within the first month or two.
Septify is a monster right now. That was 3 fights where he had half or no shield, Dave. And the man constantly putting the pressure on his opponent. They think he's coming one way, a teammate comes and cleans you up. That's now translated to the scoreboard 12-8. We have a 4-kill lead for Fnatic here.
I like that play by Jazero, trying to be a little sneaky and wait for his teammates to call him out.
Whoa.
And eventually taken out by a nice boo-boo-doo-boo flank. I don't know how he got there that quick. I wasn't sure if he used a repulsor to get up there or if he went all the way up through the nest and elbow.
Like, did this man just spawn? Where did he come from? He did not expect him for Jazero. We've got 3 players all setting up on the Fnatic side for this next overshield. We'll find out, though, who is going to walk away with it. Boo Boo, watching over from the crow's nest, has the best angle.
And this overshield is popped and not the exact position you want to be in here.
Great
you would rather have Sniper, and like this, he's trying to close the gap, and Jazero also taken out. Last time when that overshield was dropped on the ground, the second Fnatic member was able to grab it, but this looks like it's going to be a G1 overshield as these teams are brawling it out near that cylinder.
I don't know if it is, though, Dave. Look at this. Arctic just forces 3 G1 players back. It's on the ground, and Jazero is able to get it.
Jazero gets a second shot at it. That was a great trade by Predominator. Some players just hightail it and run away from the overshield. Somebody has to deal the damage to it, and that's going to cost G1 3 of their lives and a continued 5-point lead here for Fnatic.
Sniper coming up soon. You can see him setting up for it. Jazero going to spot out the new spawns, call it, and flank. Checking down low, he hears the info he needs, and now, Dave, I love the way Fnatic is approaching these fights.
Yeah, it's a little surprising. It feels like both teams are opting to give up this top center control and trying to get sneaky route. And here comes the push from both sides. Suppressed and Jazero sandwiching over in the top center. But now G1 have reconvened in that top center sniper area.
Arctic
and they walked away with it.
Yeah, Arctic falling is what caused that to fall apart for Fnatic. He was on the back end flanking that G1 setup. They notice it, 2 players turn on him, and they flip this map on its head. Squall gets away with the sniper rifle. They've got the high ground, and what was a 5-kill lead is now cut to 3 for Fnatic.
Look at this, Walleye trying to hold down the tower, but this is such a dangerous position, knowing that he's the #1 target. Gets that melee trade against Suppress. Suppress just T-Rex arming that, and that's so tough. On land here, you can do those little dance battles to avoid those lunges.
Sniper, heat wave, sniper, heat wave, battle rifle. Boo Boo's giving the sniper, and he's giving it for a reason, Dave. He's getting aggro with this thing, though. New Obi coming up, and there are 3 players in his face.
He second guesses it. He says, all right, I no longer want to be this close. Instead, he wants to move on back, but here comes the push. Just Zero gets the kill on the sniper. Septify grabbing the West. And what it looked like was going to be a good setup for G1 kind of falls apart again. It feels so rough for them. And look at this, just trading kills back and forth in bomb center. That's not exactly going to play out in your favor when you don't have those weapons.
It could have been way worse. Able to trade out a double kill on the way out, but the overshield met with the pea shooter. Fnatic, they've definitely been prioritizing that overshield, but it's good to see G1 pulling out the counters. Scoreboard, 26-29, though. Your blue team holding on to the lead at the end of another team fight as this one keeps going back and forth.
3 kills is negligible, especially at this point in the game, so you don't have to be too worried if you're a G1 fan. It's just as it crawls closer and closer to the end, that's where those kills are really going to be a factor. One thing that looks good for G1, though, is they were down by 5 kills kind of consistently throughout this game, and they've been able to make it more of an even match. So let's see what happens with G1 if they eventually get an overshield, and if they eventually get a setup.
Quick peek shots from Boo Boo. Pulling out the commando and trying to keep the shields down, so Devin has a chance here. Instead, coming over his head with suppressed, jumping down. And we're going to see Boo Boo trying to connect on the jumps. It's not going to land when he needs it most, Dave. That fight, it's no longer there. And they're going to lose a 4th overshield in a row if they're not careful here.
They have 24 seconds set up for it here. And if you're going to make a long flank, now it's time. But it looks like Arctic is on the hunt. They know they're over there. This is also great knowledge for G1. They see 2 members, one over towards Elbow Garage, one over towards Green. This means that they can outnumber Fnatic 4-2 over at the overshield if they move quickly.
They're just trying to follow the callouts to chase the kills, but it leads them in all the wrong directions. An uncontested overshield number 4 now for Fnatic.
I love this play by Arctic. Just going to delay it a bit, even though it was a little preemptive there to throw it in before knowing the player was over at the elbow. But here comes the push. Going in towards Green, and it's just a cleanup job right here as these members of G1 are weak. We are back to a 4-kill lead here for Fnatic, and that's looking a lot more comfortable once you're at the 40 mark.
Yeah, you were saying 3 kills, not that big of a difference. That's true early in the game, but once you get into the 40s, it can be terrifying. No longer can you trade evenly. You have to be smart with every single approach.
One saving grace we have for G1 is they got a sniper on tower and they don't have any close pressure, so this could be an opportunity to take some time. Nice save on his teammate there, but that's traded 2 for 2, so depends how you want to mark that one. It's not like that's leading towards any larger charge, not leading towards an overshield, but we're at the neutral slow games. Let's see what G1 does with this snipe in the hands of Squall A.
And I'm glad that Arctic decided to back down. He and Zero trying to get an angle on Squall. As soon as they see that snipe, they bail. Flank is here. As Fnatic tried to sneak up the back, they get called out, and look at your scoreboard, 44-44, a huge punish from G1.
That was Fnatic trying to be aggressive, trying to get a sneaky flank, but it was just countered perfectly. They didn't have any high ground to punish someone who is looking over the edge. Generally, if you have a large flank like that, you need something to follow it up on the high ground.
Boo Boo with no shield, trying to get out with his life. He does. Squall watching over him, but Swish now in trouble. Everyone on the map looking like they have no shield, and Squall can't hit the repulsor jump. His teammate's gonna fall behind him, and Fnatic comes charging in. Kills are traded, but it's a 1-point advantage. Now 2 for Fnatic here.
All 4 down for G1, and guess what? Free overshields on the menu tonight. Arctic gonna take that overshield and push on over towards Nest.
This is the final fight potentially for Fnatic. Can they send G1 packing? They need just 2 kills. 3 players, no shield. Boo Boo gets out with his life and the kill on G0. 48-47 here, Dave.
And look at this counter. He knows these players are going 49. Back and forth between Garage. He almost wanted to charge in there and see if he could be the hero, but decides not to put his team in a 49-49 situation. He still has about 25% OS and can use that buffer.
Quarter shield, but 3 opponents at the top of this ramp. And he gets aggressive. Can he get out with his life? Cover fire from up top. Just Zero in position. And Septify finds the snipe. 50, 48. It's Fnatic moving on to your top 8.
That is their sights set on first place here at this tournament. And so to fall out here in 9 through 12, that's just one of those heartbreaking moments you have in the heat of competition.
It was the Overshield, Dave. 2 different strategies, 2 different approaches. Fnatic, they go for the OS, they put it to use. And in the final moments, as the flank comes in and distracts, the sniper comes out of top, Septify closes it out. As we see Fnatic pulling off the upset and pushing into our final 8.
Pulling off a huge upset, but on top of that, with that many overshields and that many slight advantages that Fnatic had, it's surprising they didn't win by more. That is a testament to how strong G1 is. Even when they're playing on the back foot, they got literally 0 overshields. We didn't really see many strong sniper setups. We saw one was Qual A at the end when they scored tower, but it was more of like a Fnatic push through mud. So just so many things could have went different for them there, and you know that that's going to weigh on them.
Looking at the numbers, Septify, 15, 12, 7 assists. Right there with them. Jazero coming alive in that game 3, never slowing down to the very end. Fnatic, they were the dark horse coming in. Still that way, Dave, but they've already knocked down a top dog.
Yeah, I mean, that is such a massive wave to crush through. You know, to beat someone like G1, you don't expect to play someone like G1 in lose in elimination bracket round 1. So to be able to take them out, that's not the tone for us this weekend. They can go further. I mean, they've already had their highs and lows throughout this weekend. They had to go through play-ins. They had to go through pool play. And now they've toppled their first giant in the form of G1.
Fnatic, you made it, and you're making waves here on Saturday. Can they make it to Championship Sunday? Well, we still got a lot of games before we find that out. For now, though, Dave, we got to sign off. Great Saturday casting with you, my friend, but it's time to send it back over to the desk.
Thank you so much, Puckett, Walshy. What a defining moment that was for Fnatic. I mean, talk about a Cinderella story. We've all asked for a Cinderella story, a true run. We haven't quite seen one to this effect so far. Goofy, first and foremost, what's going across, through your head? What's going across your mind right now, looking at what just happened before us?
I am at a loss for words right now. G1 was the talk of the town coming into this weekend. They were supposed to be the team that could ruffle some feathers potentially in the top 4, and we just saw them go down to this Fnatic roster from play-in to pool play to elimination bracket. Fnatic surprising us all. I'm at a loss for words, Lottie.
I know, it's unbelievable. I mean, Tony, looking back at what happened here, we're looking right now at Catalyst, Slayer. What were some pinpoint moments for you in terms of Fnatic that really were like, okay, this is the real deal, this could happen, this moment could be Fnatic's to take?
They were playing better than I've ever seen them play before. This is a different Fnatic roster. This is not the same one that was forced to play in that open bracket. Septify is an absolute monster. Suppress deals so much damage and pressure on the map. Jazero and his play calls. And on top of that, dropping 24, 30 kills. This man's an absolute animal. Fnatic are different, and they're built different here in Worlds.
I gotta say, it's one moment to me that jumps out in that series. That's the Aquarius flag game, right? You win 2 Slayers in a series, you know you've only got to take one objective. That return, the last second pull from G1, and we're like, here we go, the underdog who gets so close, they're gonna fall at that final hurdle, but somehow they get that return, they fight out of spawn, and they send that flag home to win the game. I mean, it was a crazy series, and I don't think I'm wrong in saying, by the way, I think this is the best day of Halo we've had this year. Game 5 after Game 5, upsets. It's been incredible today, and Fnatic stay alive.
Yeah, Fnatic do stay alive, and I've got to say, in terms of the stats that are coming across from both teams here, when it comes to Fnatic, Goofy, who really stood out to you to be that playmaker, to be that X factor for this team that they needed to take this dub?
Just looking at the stats, Lottie, Jazero and Suppress having some very big series. Both of those players are so key, and Fnatic completely upsetting G1, and I'm still scratching my head. On that Streets game, Jazero was making plays. He had 30 kills before they had to reset it. And Jazero, in my opinion, was the MVP for Fnatic that series.
It was absolutely incredible what Fnatic just achieved. I think on the other side for G1, you're looking at the stats there, and Boo Boo Doo Boo does stand out. Tony, I mean, a 1.32 while the rest of his team struggling to even go even. It's very, very difficult when that happens. Talk to me about a little bit of the imbalances you're seeing from G1.
Yeah, I mean, with G1, anybody could pop off. I talked about that before, and this time having in the series with Cloud9, it was squall late. There was a few games where it was switched. At the end of the day, they just didn't get it done. As a team, it's no one or two individuals that the reason why they lost the game. They didn't get it done as a team. They would tell you that Fnatic were the better team going in, and a huge Game 5 win.
It certainly was indeed. Let's take a look at the bracket though, because this is where the scores go on and we can see where everyone is at and who they're going to be facing next. We have Fnatic pushing through the elimination rounds and they find themselves in round 2 facing either Oxygen or G2, which are currently in a game right now. G2 is up 1 in the series. Onset, what have you got your sights set on here?
I mean, Jaylee, you talk about Cinderella stories. If you needed inspiration if you're Jaylee's, right? You've just seen Fnatic knock out a G1. You're probably thinking, you know what? Why can't we do it as well? For Ascendo, I've got to say, they probably weren't expecting to play Cloud9 quite so early in the bracket. You know what I mean? It's not been the best of luck for Ascendo over the last few days, but if they win that series, why can't they win the whole thing?
Yeah, I think it's really scary to also think about the prospect of Cloud9 going out there, right? You know, top 2 every single event. Not only that, but dominating the first part of the season. The fact that they would go out at this early at Worlds is almost unthinkable, Goofy. Ascend have a heavy road ahead, but Cloud9, they have to really show out right now.
Yeah, me and Clutch were casting that series, Cloud9 against Native Red, and just the way they lost that series, up 2-0, dominating the series, and then just get reverse swept by a Native Red team that was playing out of their minds. And now we see the championship bracket, FaZe going up against Native Red, Optic, and Sentinels, but that Ascend and Cloud9 matchup is going to be one for the books.
It certainly is going to be one for the books, without a doubt. But I'll tell you what, though, we have books filled with incredible plays from so many of our players this season. And tomorrow, we're actually going to be announcing the AMD Power Play of the Year. But we had to give some honorable mentions to some incredible plays that have been happening all season long. And this one, folks, is from Lucid and Trippy.
It forces desperation. Yeah. They can get a setup where it's, 20 or 30 unanswered points, and at that point there's no room for error. And we're starting the spot for FaZe is looking scary. And oh my god!
Yeah, baby!
Is this supposed to be a close range weapon, Golden Boy?
Nope. He's got himself a sniper rifle, Dave. Oh my word. And he also pockets the OS too. He doesn't care. He wants blood. He wants blood and he wants it now. 2 players in the mud down low. Oh, finally his reign of terror is going to come to an end. Looked like he was channeling his old name, the Saiyan back then. My boy was fragging.
You were just sound like you're down south there, like, yep, got a couple down in the mud. He's got that sniper shotgun.
Oh man, I guess it's just being in Florida. I don't know. It's something in the water. Oh my God! Give it to him. Give it to him. Give him the dub. Send it to Game 5. It's the only way this can end, baby.
And it's moments like that that just shift the momentum in the favor of a team, because it's just defining moments, isn't it? You just get that kind of dopamine, that adrenaline from crazy things that happen like that, and then suddenly anything's possible. And not only that, it kind of checks the opposition out as well. I mean, I'm sure you've been through many moments like that in your career, Goofy, where you think to yourself, I am on fire right now. They don't stand a chance, surely?
I can think of a snipe I hit one time in my Halo career that was
somewhere on the pit.
Somewhere on the pit.
Something about SK.
I sniped somebody, and yeah, nothing was the same.
Nothing was the same. We'll leave it there. The rest is history. Well, folks, we're going to head to a quick break right now, but we have so much left on offer for you guys. What a series. The Cinderella story is very much the only book we are reading this weekend. Fnatic do the impossible, but coming up next, we have some special guests on the stage. We've got Scum, Shotzi, and Hitch joining us on the decks right after this.
Wait, there's something wrong with you.
Hide my face off, trolley, trolley, trolley. Crush us with their teeth. Trolley, trolley, trolley. Eat us, eat us. Trolley.
At Lovesac, we design furniture for life. Real life. Messy life. Life that changes and brings us together for movie night. A life where batteries run down and get charged up again. Because now, Lovesac Sactionals can be upgraded with stealth tech and immersive surround sound by Harman Kardon hidden inside. Upgradable, washable, and guaranteed for life. Don't just hear it, feel it at a Lovesac showroom near you.
Did you here. I'm just here to
Searching for meaning in a relentless world, always connected, but somehow alone, trapped by illusion. We offer another path, where the battle to belong begins. Awakened by a calling, united by the cause you fight for. No one can take away what it means to be among the few, the proud, the Marines. There's so many imps back.
I got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin.
Hello folks and welcome back to the Halo World Championships live from Seattle, Washington. Now before the break, Cinderella is making some noise this weekend as Fnatic knocked G1 out of the competition. Yes, you heard it correctly. G1 are out for the count. And unfortunately, the end is near for them. But Fnatic, they're still looking pretty good right now, going through the elimination bracket. But with all the comp aside, I do have some special guests on the desk.
What's going on, everybody?
Shots in Hitch. Hold on a second. Who invited COD here?
I don't know. I think me and
Akanda just showed up.
Yeah,
Zinni.
And Zinni, yeah. We don't know. Zinni's here as well. We don't know how he got here, but he came with us.
It's all right. We love having our FPS brothers up here as well. But gents, so nice to have you joining us. Now, I've got to ask you, how are you enjoying the event, Scum? I know you're backstage streaming. How has it been watching the Green Wall live here and actually watching it with your community as well?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, I love watching Halo personally. So to actually be here, I mean, we're backstage, but we're still able to feel, you know, the atmosphere and the energy from out here in the crowd. So it's awesome. I mean, I'm back there watch partying with him, and the chat's loving it. We're loving it. Everyone's having a good time. And Optic's winning right now, so that helps.
They are indeed. They do have a tough match coming up next, and that one's going to seal the deal for them pretty much in the winners bracket. Shotzi, you're not a stranger to Halo. We all know that. You obviously started off your career. You're an FPS god in your own right now. But how are you feeling being back in Halo, watching it backstage, you know, getting involved once again?
Dude, can I say this? Ant was nervous coming on.
I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous.
He
kept
shaking.
No, I wasn't. All right, but listen. Yeah, the answer to your question, I entered the venue. I saw my, my flag up there, and I was like, wow, my younger self would be happy. So
Love that.
I'm enjoying this event.
It's good to have you back.
So wholesome.
So wholesome.
So nice.
He doesn't seem like a nervous guy to me up here. You're looking right where you belong up here, talking about FPS games. Hitch, great to have you up here as well, man. And I got to say, it's been incredibly electric every time Optic play. The fans have been coming out in full force, not only in Orlando, but here to see Optic do it and lift that trophy. How are you feeling about the weekend as a whole and being amongst the Green Wall?
Oh, I love the Halo Green Wall fans. I mean, in Orlando, we had people doing backflips, and I think somebody's gonna bring a drum tomorrow so that we can do our chants again. So.
I want to do the drum.
Seth will be doing the drum.
If I'm allowed.
You got left. You are 100% allowed.
If I'm allowed.
It will definitely happen. But yeah,
usually we're on the other side.
Yeah, Green Wall comes in hot for Call of Duty and of course for Halo.
Love that. Pro club player, you know, part musician. We'll take it.
The drum looks fun. We're always up there making fun of him whenever we're about to play a series, and he's just.
Well,
now
fellas,
it's your turn.
We thought it'd be fun to ask you some quick fire questions just to get, you know, the vibe of what you're thinking in terms of the Halo scene. So, without further ado, very quickly, the first thing that comes to your mind, Scott, which pro player has the best hair?
Ooh, Lucid. 1080p me.
1080p
That's what I call him. That's 1080 right there. I'm the 480p version.
That's good.
I gotta say, the main looks brushed, doesn't it?
That's good.
What about you, Shotzi?
Snipe down, for sure. You guys a model. Yeah.
All
I have
right.
to go with Snipe.
Hitch.
I'm gonna have to go with Snakebite. Handsome man, beautiful hair, beautiful noggin on that one.
Doesn't show it very often. It's under a cap.
Yeah, a few of us have seen it.
Same with Formal. It's like he pulls that cap off and
it's just.
He's got a bald spot under there.
Honestly, seeing Snakebite's hair is like seeing a unicorn. So if you do see it, it's pretty magical. Not gonna lie. Scum, which team has the best jerseys apart from Optic?
Ooh, that's tough.
You can't even answer that.
I can't?
Hector would be mad.
Just say the Eagles.
I would say Cloud9 because I like their colors.
I was
like Cloud9's colors. I like the baby blue.
Yeah.
Shotzi, you're gonna be super professional right now and stick to your guns.
She said besides Optic.
I respect it. I respect that.
Blink twice if you need help.
You look kind of short, man.
Yeah, he's got a box back here.
Sitting on.
This guy's a giant.
Scum, which pro player has the best gamer tag?
Oh, that's tough. Best gamer tag.
Oh, I know one.
Do you?
Go on.
I kind of like Spartan the dog.
That's good. That's
that
good.
guy's got that dog in him up there. He literally embodies it.
It's a great energy.
I'd go with Boobadoo
That is also a very good gamer
It
tag.
just rolls off the tongue good.
It does.
I have to go with the classic, a pure gangster. Nothing's better than APG.
I must say, and it shortens really smoothly
it
too.
shortens really
100%. I got to ask you as well, which Optic player would you choose as your after-party wingman? Now, I know a lot of you guys are taken here, so this is a bit of a weird question, but to get your girls again, if you had to, who would you choose?
Oh.
Formal, T2P, H4F all day.
Yeah.
I don't really know who. Spartan? I don't know.
Spartan?
Yeah, I mean,
he's got that dog in him?
He does have that dog in him. I'd probably go Spartan.
Okay.
Probably Lethal. Lethal could do some damage on the court, I think.
He's sarcastic.
He is.
He'll break the ice.
Maybe he would make himself look bad, so you look good.
Is
you
that
know
right?
what I mean? I think we have to go.
He'd definitely get you a Pokemon Go tag. I know that. So. Fantastic stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, Shotzi, I heard you talk a little bit of a big game before we came on the desk. You told me that I could ask you anything that I wanted to, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Let me hear it.
Oh, here it comes.
I want to know your opinion on Eco and Renegade and where they're at right now with their friendship, because things got a little bit shaky and rocky. So what's your opinion on this kind of like crazy feud that's happening?
It's crazy knowing that like they're not teammates anymore. Like it's pretty crazy looking at it from the outside in, but I know it's just friendly banter, and you know they, probably love playing against each other. So.
Okay, I like that. Well, I tell you what, you do answer anything, so I tip it. That's good. That's great. Fellas, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming up here, having a bit of fun to break all of the crazy stuff that's happening on the main stage. Best of luck backstage and co-streaming. Best of luck to the Green Wall. Green Wall fans, I hope you're happy with this. We brought some of the Optic entertainment for you. That's right.
I want to say thank you to HCS for having us too, by the way. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a lot of fun.
Fantastic stuff.
Thank you, Halo.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, guys, to put some context, to what Shotzi was talking about here and tension between teammates, we actually did catch up with Eco and Renegade to put this story to bed once and for all. Check it out.
I think that a rivalry is two people or two teams that maybe don't like each other for a reason, that are pitted against each other in a way where one has to beat the other.
My name is Kevin Smith, and my gamer tag is Eco.
Jonathan Willett, my gamer tag is Renegade, and I play for FaZe Clan.
What brought me into the competitive Halo scene, like from the start, is I'm just basically fully addicted to Halo.
So Eco came onto the scene playing with Splice in Halo 5, and he has always been this guy with a massive brain.
People say I'm like the IGL, in-game leader. I think I see the game from like a top-down perspective where like I'm thinking about where all players are on the map at all times.
So Renegade, aka Renegade, has always been known to be this power player, main slayer.
People have to like IGO, and we had one of those, so like I was able to just play my game, and I feel like when I play my game, no one could beat me.
Similar to Eco, obviously, he is a world champion. They teamed together on that Dynastic Splice team.
This should be it. Stella's gonna put it in, and you have a new Halo World Champion!
The Splice era was a dominant one in Halo 5, and specifically Eco and Renegade, because you've either got the guy who's calling the shots, or you've got the guy who's hitting the shots. And I think when you're that successful, when a new game comes out, you're going to stay together.
Obviously, big news for the community. Big time organization like Cloud9 picking up the best team in the world. Especially going into Halo Infinite, Cloud9 was favorites. When you would ask who's going to win the first major, people were saying Cloud9.
This is the moment of a lifetime.
Cloud9 versus E United starts right now.
The soul of a legend with the will to be.
We got a trophy in the hands of Cloud9.
We got to win the first Infinite event. I'm literally so excited, and I'm glad to do it with these guys.
Eco! 3 kills for him! It's back to back for C9!
I'm proud of everybody.
Sentinels will knock Cloud9 to the elimination bracket.
Cloud9 obviously getting knocked down to the elim bracket. What does it mean going into this series now?
It means that there's maybe some vulnerability around this team.
A 3-0 sweep against E United.
And that's going to be a clean sweep. Look at Renegade getting hyped up. Cloud9 are all being put in the death screen.
We got the champions on the stage. Give it up for Sentinels.
So after Kansas City, you know, we got second. Renegade was just being very distant, so it started to be like very apparent that something was going on. And then whenever I found out he was like leaving, yeah, it was terrible.
That was definitely the hardest thing I've ever done in my gaming career, for sure. It's like, dang, like I have to like, you know, face the music.
I just didn't think it was real, you know, because like, you know, we had teamed for so long. We had just won 2 tournaments in a row and then got second. In my eyes, you know, that was like really good.
I always handled our losses in like a constructive manner of like, okay, why did we lose this? And they more handled it in a way of like, whatever, it's just a fluke win. Like they were so nonchalantly about everything. Like I did not like that at all, because I see this as like right now my career. Obviously, I still think they're amazing players. I still think they can win a tournament without me. I just feel like my mentality and how I am as a person didn't thrive.
It's like a fire lit under my team, you know, because people say that like me and my teammates aren't passionate enough, and that's not true at all, you know what I mean? Like we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't love the game and want to win. Like we played to win.
To win Worlds with FaZe would mean the world to me, to be honest, because like I definitely have something to prove. And I want to beat them, of course, but I also want to prove to myself that like I didn't need them to be successful.
When we play FaZe and beat them, it'll mean everything, you know. It'll mean John made the wrong decision and that we want to win just as much as he does.
This is going to be an intense series. These guys are going to want it. Imagine the smartest player in the world going up against the most individually skilled player in the world. It's like a chess game.